Focus. There you go. Good camera. Come on, stay in focus. I'm hoping I don't have a problem with that. Okay, are we live or we got some lag going on here? Gotta check something here. Okay, as long as I'm hooked to the internet on my house and not the internet on my phone, I think we're okay. But I don't know how to check that without shutting off the live stream, so we will see what happens. Oh boy, that's got one heck of a lag on it. I'm over here watching it on the computer. That's every bit of like a 20-second lag. Oh well, it's a good picture. I don't know how the sound does, but okay, we're live. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Engine enter Sonoma locked out. Sonata. Huh. Yeah, that's one of them little foreign cars. I don't know nothing about those. Doesn't surprise me though. They don't build them like they used to. Oh, cool. Looks like we got audio. It's weird seeing myself walking around over here when I'm standing still over there, because there's so much of a lag here. I'm going to try to ignore that for now. The only reason I got that on the screen over there is so I can see the live chat. This ratchet feels broken. Just had a really good center punch out, and it's gone. Can't remember what I used it for. I remember having one out. It was a nice one too. This live stream is probably going to be a mess here for a minute. Hey, we got 7 whole people watching. I'm going to go run out here to the other shop real quick and look for a punch. Nope. Don't know where any of my tools are at. looks like we got one more comment over there. We'll go read that in just a second. Weird. Anyway, I'll find it later. Howdy, Moto Pimp. Moto Pimp, is that your name? Moto Pimp 1324. Some of y'all crack me up with your names. I really would rather have different. No, that ain't gonna cut it. So, got 10 people watching. Ooh, that quality is pretty crappy though. What's the deal with that? Oh, we got 144p potato vision. There we go. I don't know if that's the computer wanting to go to 144p or the... No, it's in 720p now. How much of a lag do we got on that? Okay, about like 30 seconds. And the focus of the camera don't like that. Oh, chrome's falling off my punch. So anyway, yep, small block Chevy. Damn, mosquitoes are thick out here tonight. That might do a little better. Oh yeah, much better. I don't like the way that one sounds. That bearing's just a wee bit loose. Yeah, we might have a bad rod bearing right there. I plan on rebuilding anyway. I just hope the crank's okay. I've got a little wiggle cam going on there. It'll be alright. Just marking rods. Everybody's probably like, what the hell are you doing? Alrighty then, now we are ready to tear this thing down. Now we've got all of our rod caps marked and all of our main caps marked. Don't need to mark the end one, that's pretty daggone obvious. It won't go anywhere else. Neither will the front one really, except for on 2-bolt main blocks, and then it probably will. Don't know, I've never really looked. Never really tried to fit it in the wrong spot. I don't have anything to drink out here, and that kind of sucks. I'll have to go get some here in a minute. Whoa, holy crap, whole bunch of comments. Okay. Same for my uncle, 80-something GMC S15 with his 305 and 700 R4. Yeah, that would be any S15, S10, Sonoma, any of them trucks with any V8 is going to be fun to drive. Have I ever had an engine lock up on me while I was driving? No. I've had one start knocking after a bunch of abuse. Never had one just lock up all at once. Is it locked up solid or does it have a little give to it? Yeah, I have no idea. If it's one of them little foreign cars, it's probably broken. Start with a Chevy. Poor guy here, but we're all the same. Still love the videos. That's funny. I ain't gonna make no Ford jokes. Any suggestions for the budget builder on cams and heads? Comp cams, flat tappet camshaft, small block Chevy. Can't go wrong. Just break it in the right way. And budget heads, I've had good luck with the as-cast, like the Speedmaster heads. If you get a set of those and run the shaft-mounted roller rockers and put your own valves and valve springs and everything in them, they're not too bad. Train kept me stopped for a total of like a half an hour. It was annoying. Howdy, Charles. I'm trying to get caught up here. Yeah, I don't think I've ever really took pictures of anything I've taken apart. I just take it apart and put it back together. Charles, 354 volt main. Hi from Canada. Well, hi from Indiana, Paul. Need to make his chat box just a little bit bigger somehow. Didn't have nobody in the chat box hardly, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of you. That's kind of cool. Whew. That is one sloppy timing chain. We got 12 Ogans. 11. Yeah, somebody got bored. Oh, somebody came back. Got 12 again. Okay. We'll run in, grab something to drink. I will be right back. We'll start tearing this thing apart. That doesn't take long. Oh, what the hell? Oh, that's just nasty, man. What is all that? See, this stupid corner store down here, look how gross that is. That's just disgusting. I don't know if you can even see that. There's all kinds of like murder worms or something in there. I don't know, some kind of blood worm that's been smashed. I don't know what the hell that is. That's going in the trash. I'll be right back. Hope they're not all like that. Well then. See, that's the universe telling me I'm not drinking a beer tonight. I got me a 6-pack of beer thinking, yeah, I'll crack one of them bad boys open, tear apart the engine. No, the whole top of every single one of them is covered in like trash or something. I don't know what it is. It's all nasty. So, yep, back to the Dr. Pepper. Ain't much better for you. Would it sound better if they exhaust? Oh, cheap. Hang on, I gotta catch up on the engine, or on the comments here. Cheap, get you a set of iron heads and get you a little porting kit and start grinding. Do your own heads, do your own valves, everything, lap them in yourself. You can make a small chamber 305 head pretty decent with a couple hours work. And yeah, back pressure, like you don't need back pressure. The less back pressure you have, the better. Yeah, always wipe the lids on the can. Yeah, I was totally gonna freaking drink a beer with you guys, but I can't, man. They're all nasty, and I don't mind getting my hands dirty and stuff, but yeah, there's no amount of washing that can that would make me drink out of it. That was nasty. Alrighty then. You know what really needs to happen is that computer screen needs to be closer to I need to eat a couple more tacos. I'm starting to put on a few extra pounds here. Glad that's out of camera. Daggone guts hanging over the engine. Okay. Cannot see anything anybody's saying over there while I'm over here because I'm about half blind. I need new glasses. So to remedy that, I don't know, that monitor is directly bolted to the wall, so spray them with brake cleaner. Actually, if it was non-chlorinated brake cleaner, I probably would. And I probably would drink it, because even if it was chlorinated brake cleaner, I'd clean it. A good green can of it, though, man. That nice big tall green can. I'd like to have a can of that right now. What the hell? Seriously? Are you kidding me? Brand new cigarette. What is going on today? First I can't drink my beer I bought, now I can't smoke the cigarettes. That's a shitty store. Right away, they better not all be like that. Brand new damn pack of cigarettes. That one was broken. That's the way my night's been going. Whoa, we got 14 people watching. Starting to get a crowd. It's almost enough for a baseball team, ain't it? How many people you need for a baseball? baseball lately. I'm not even into sports. I've been mostly watching the hidden ball tricks. I think that's hilarious. I don't know why. I get bored and I watch baseball on YouTube, you know. Because it's probably in the suggested videos and YouTube wants me to watch that deep down. Because I watched one video and now there's like 50 of them in my news feed. Where in the heck did I lay that ratchet? And all that stuff I just had. And sometimes I'm losing my mind. Totally just had a ratchet. Then I went on to look for something else. And it's gone. Maybe I won't take apart this engine. Maybe I'll just walk around a whole bunch looking for tools all night. Trying to think. This is totally the way my luck's been going here lately. What the heck did I do with this damn thing? Oh, hidden by the zip ties. See, I ran into a dilemma the other day. I had broken all of my ratchets but one. So I can't do stupid stuff like use a ratchet as a breaker bar anymore. That actually worked. So what I'm doing, got this nice fancy welded up ratchet that's broke a few times and been re-welded. I'm going to attempt to break everything loose with this, so I don't tear up my only good ratchet. Oh, damn it, it broke. Man, I really, like, in the worst way, need some new tools. This is ridiculous. Son of a gun. That's my only ratchet that wasn't completely screwed up, and now the welds are broke again. This stupid Chinese garbage. Come on. I'm about to weld this thing to this thing and just make, you know, but it wasn't for that was my only good 5/8 6-point socket. I would do that. Okay. Use this guy. He likes to party. That was loose already. Yep. Ain't no wonder that broke my ratchet. Yeah, at least I'm not using a big impact on it like everybody else does. Whew. Fun stuff. How many more comments we got? It's a 354 volt main, Charles. Taking an engine apart and putting it back together is simple. Just do everything you did, only backwards and better and cleaner. Yeah, oil pump pickup is welded on. Hi, Josh. I can't pronounce a lot of these names. Josh Carey. I don't care if your car retarded, Betty. It's all good. Thanks for watching, though. Appreciate the views. Appreciate the audience. How many times he used a single flare on the brake line? How unrelated, just curious. Well, I don't know. I've never really did a lot of brake line shenanigans. I've mostly just hooked them up, you know, and bought the lines from Napa, and I'll use them, was it double ferrule fittings, compression fittings or whatnot. I've never had a flare tool to make my own brake lines. If I had a flare tool, I would probably do that. I know if you blow a brake line, you can take it out of the master cylinder and you can put a finishing nail in the line and tighten it back down and it shuts it off. That I do know. Why is that not coming off where it should? Let's read some more comments. I meant to say many. Oh yeah, I get it. I'm bad at typing, so I can understand like typos. It's not a big deal. Yes, it is a 0010 block. Both of these engines right here are. You guys can't see the other one. Let me rotate you around here. That one is too. I think I got you back in focus there. Yeah, to be honest, buddy, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about only flared once to double flare, because I've never had a flare fitting. And, you know, like I said, when I do brake lines, I go to Napa and Napa Auto Parts, ladies and gentlemen, for all your automotive needs. I go to Napa and get the fittings that just screws into whatever I need. Or like if I got a wheel cylinder and I need a line to go into it, I'll just get the line to go into it, and the other end of it, if I need something else, I'll hack it off and I'll put a double ferrule fitting on it. I just kind of build my own brake lines. I don't mess. If I had the flare fittings, that would be nice, but then I'd have to have all the nuts and stuff for it. And yeah, that would be nice to be able to do that and have the line, you know, exactly how long you need it to be and all that fun stuff. Come on, little girl, get off there. Yep, that's being stubborn. So yeah, I've had some people tell me these are high nickel blocks or something. So I have 3 of these now. The one in the other S10 actually started as one of these blocks, only it's hilarious. You can't even hardly oil pan on it. It's all ground out right up into these threads right here on the bottom on a few different places. I'm pretty close to these. I had to do a lot of clearancing to the point where it was getting pretty bad. So this one I'm not going to stroke it. I'm thinking about actually de-stroking this one. I'm thinking about leaving it at a 350 just because it would be cheap to rebuild it real quick and throw a good cam in it and redo the heads and just make a good solid engine, you know. I wanted to build a 302 out of it. 302, 1969, with a 4-inch bore and a 3-inch stroke. If I can get a 3-inch stroke crank, pistons with the right pin height and the right rods, I can make a 302 out of this. That'd be cool. But that costs a bunch of money. So yeah, I don't reckon I'm going to be doing that anytime soon. I might just leave it at 350 for now and build it. YouTube ain't paying anymore, so bills are kind of piling up. I ain't got any extra money to do stuff like I usually would. Alright, tight. I really need some grease rag and quit wiping my hands on the jeans. Any new comments? Yeah, a few of them. Fuck you. So many guys' names, man. I tell you what, I don't know how you come up with this shit. It's funny though. I could zoom that page in where I can read it over here. I'll try something real quick. Forgot how to do that. Ah. Whoa, I zoomed in too much. I'm glitching the computer out like crazy. That was not what I meant to do. There we go. I think I can see the chat from all the way over here now. That's pretty cool. Check that out. Can't see that at all, can you? I'll just put this back. Alright. Now we're ready to start having fun. Oh, shoot. Part of my problem is half of my tools are in here, half of them's in the other shop. I need a better dead blow hammer. That one went soft on me. Well, that's really on there. I do not like doing this, but something tells me I've got plenty of spare parts, so we're doing this. I mess up a stud, I mess up a stud. I ain't got time to play. There we go. Didn't hurt a thing. Holy cow. No way, man. I hope the rest doesn't look that good. Was the oil pump locked up? No. It was just stuck on these dowel pins here. Wow, I really hope the rest of everything looks that good. Loosened all the main caps thinking it would be easier to turn over. Ugh, it's not. Get past that damn ring ridge. Nope. other half of the bearing I'm not ever going to use. I might reuse. I was thinking, well, I ain't going to reuse them bearings, but well, I tell you what, right there looks very, very promising. Ooh, no wait, got a little bit of wear right there. More like some pitting from setting, it looks like. A little bit of wear, but that's impressive for this old of an engine. Yeah, that actually looks really good. Ain't even a lot of side skirt wear. One down, 7 to go. Any new comments? I figured I'll pull the rod out and reply to some comments. Yep, ain't no new comments yet. Don't know how many people's watching. Can't believe how good that crank looks though. The bearing stayed there. Not too worried about it. Awesome. That crank looks really, really good shape. Makes me happy, happy, happy. Wow, that one don't have any side skirt wear or hardly at all. This engine looks to be in really, really good shape. Some old guy must have drove this thing. Come on now. Don't have a ring ridge on it. It's got just enough to make it a pain in the ass. Wow. You've got to be kidding me. Don't worry, I'm over the stud. That was a little tight. "20 people watching." Yeah. I didn't figure there'd be too many because it's Friday night. It's like 9:30 something. Everybody's probably out partying, doing normal types of activities. I think I'd rather be sitting here building the engine all night than out partying. Did enough of that when I was a kid. Hope my mom ain't watching. So it really ain't looking half bad. Nope. Kind of like my race car engine. Just pop them out with my bare hands. I ain't got to do this stupid bull crap. This one will be that like that. Don't worry, it'll be that way for so it was. All nice and rebuilt. Now it's a 350 Jason J. Howdy, Robert. Got a few of my regulars in here watching so far, it looks like. Whoa. Loose bearing. And an escapee. Can you guys see? I'm going to zoom out real quick, see what you're seeing. Ain't too bad, I guess. Are pistons always this hard to remove? No. This engine has got a little bit of a ring ridge on top of it that the top ring is catching on. And after you get it past that top ring, you know, like the ones on my engine in the S10 or this engine I built for the T-Bucket, you can just go pop them right out. Depends on how many miles it's got on it. I'd say this is factory because it's still a 4-inch bore, so nobody's ever honed it out or bored it out. So that little bit of ring ridge is to be expected. The thing you gotta look for is how much taper there is in the bore. Oh, did the camera fall down a little bit? It'll take like 20 seconds till I can see what effect that had on the picture. A little bit of lag. I'm waiting for it. There we go. Yeah, it ain't too bad. Better than it was. So far, every crank journal is looking fantastic, like brand new, like no wear on it. There's a little oil line in the middle of it where you can see where it's been. You know, not had a bearing on it, obviously, since it's in the middle. So usually you can get it, push it down a little bit, and you can just pop it out like that. I think I've been pushing them down too far and ain't giving them the oomph they need to push through it. Right, just joking. I got 354 volt Marriott too. That's funny. Well, I didn't want to be like, wow, yeah, some 4.3 there, buddy. It's, you know, uh-oh. Rattle raggy. Got a little metal transfer on that one. I don't know if you can see that or not. A little line in it. And there's a very, very faint line in the crank. Doesn't even, it just almost catches with my fingernail. That's still almost like new. Nothing wrong with that. A little bit of croaker's cloth, polish that bad boy out. New bearings and throw it back together. Didn't quite go hard enough on that one. When you're putting these back together, don't matter if the bearings are in them or not, make sure you put the cap that came off that rod back on that rod. Make sure you line it up right, put it on the right direction. You do not want to mix up the rod caps or the main caps. And you especially do not want to use any main caps off of any other engine. You have to use the main caps that's on the engine. You cannot do anything about that. If you replace those, you have to have it rebored. You got a line bore it. This block is machined with these caps bolted down. I know like 90% of the people that's watching right now is probably like, well, yeah, duh. But a lot of people watch this channel, but you know, don't do this every day. So they wouldn't know that, you know. Oh no, that's not good. Where did that go? I need that. It's not in the cam tunnel. That's all that matters. I mean, not like we can't get it back, but I'd rather not have to remember to look for that this whole time I'm tearing it down. Yep, there it is. Got it. That was convenient. Oh boy, I ate too much. I could totally go for a nap right now. Got 7 people watching. Guess everybody's getting bored. Oh well, I don't care. That's why I don't ever do many of these live streams. Nobody really watches for that long. They're like, yeah, he's just taking an engine apart. What to do? Go watch somebody else. I don't care. A lot of people probably think this is boring. My thing is, you gotta do this to go do burnouts, so this comes first. Oh, that's a bummer. Hoping that just pop out of there. Skirts were kind of tight in that one. Making noise, dogs are barking. Yeah, and these hand thread right back on there too. Holy crap. What is all that up there? Well, hey, CF Mechanic, thank you, buddy. That is my first super chat thing, I think. I've never had anybody do that before. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Wow. That is cool. I much appreciate that. Thank you very much. Wow, that blows my mind. I never thought anybody'd do that. Wow, I'm kind of speechless. I don't even know what to say. I didn't think that, like, I guess you can do that on live stream, can't you? Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Cool. What am I looking for? Got all I got sidetracked now. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, buddy. Ooh, like new. That is a pretty crankshaft. I am impressed. I'm really hoping. Oh, I heard a bearing. Yep, had one sticking to the bottom of the crank. I'm also going to, good evening, Kevin Shire, 0485. How you doing, buddy? Good, thanks for watching. But yeah, I was starting to say I'm going to do a live stream of putting this together too. And show you guys step by step kind of how I build my engines. Because I have pretty good luck with them so far. I haven't had anything, you know, like, knock on wood, haven't had anything blow up yet. But sounds like there's somebody out front on a Harley Davidson. What's the deal there? Yeah, again, thank you, CF Mechanic. I appreciate that. Got another message there, it looks like. Right on, thank you for watching. Yeah, I like tearing these engines down. Something is hanging this cap up though. There we go. I don't know why I always try to keep the bolts with the caps that they went with. It does not really matter. I'm sure it doesn't matter. Matter of fact, I know it doesn't matter because that engine out there that was all in the bucket getting cleaned. But still, I try to keep them all pretty much where they went. It ain't blown up yet. They've been there this long. They're happy where they're at. You know, put them back. You never know when, you know. And I pinch them bolts together like that and just rock it back and forth, pull it out of the, because it's machined in right here. It's really tight fit. Anyone know why Italians don't like Jehovah's Witnesses? No. No, I'm curious to see what the answer to that one is. Oh, what did I step into there? Yeah, definitely run a thread chaser through every hole in the block, but that one there, that's a little tight. surprised no one's yelling at the TV yet. You should have took that flex plate off before you start. I know I should have, but I like leaving it on there because I can stand the crank straight up and down and blow it out real good with my little parts washer over here on the wall. You guys probably can't see that. And all the crap will drain out of it that way too. It's easier to clean that way. When I put the engine back together, normally I got that flex plate off of there. You know, it's not just on there all the time. For disassembly, yeah, I leave it on there. Wow, these mains are really good. Everything's in really good shape so far. I got to hand it to that guy, man. Todd Rusk, big shout out for these engines, buddy. He cut me a good price on a couple engines, and very, very good shape on this first one. I haven't started into the second one yet. I know you wanted a tear down on that one, and I want to get this down to a bare block. Kind of my goal. Get it down to a bare block and clean everything super good, and then, you know, either put it on the stand and get it out of the way and tear down this one. I'd kind of like to maybe wait to tear down that one until this one's put back together, just so there is absolutely no chance of mixing up a main cap or something stupid, you know, because my garage ain't like fancy. I don't have many places to put stuff like this, so like right now I'll show y'all where I'm putting everything. Got a workbench over here. I've got a piece of packing paper. Just kind of putting everything on that for now. Check this out. Right plug in here. Yeah, computer power supply. Just an old junk computer power supply. Hooked up to a 52-inch curved light bar. Makes the most awesome work light ever. Oh, that's funny. Italian takeover witnesses. Not bored at all. Yeah, I was keeping that on there, just keep crap out of it, but I guess we're to the point where we can go ahead and take that off. Voice open to suggestions. I didn't know that was blocking the camera that much. I probably should have thought of that, but yeah, you live and you learn. Oh, I didn't loosen that one bolt up because oil pump was in my way when I was doing that. So go ahead and get this off there. Would hook up air to it, but air tool. Oh, and by the way, if you take like a rag or an old sock around your air ratchet and then wrap it in duct tape, it's like a muffler, and you can use it at nighttime. The problem is any air tool or a grinder, pretty much anything that makes really loud noises, will make my cat attack all the dogs and my wife. So I can't run air tools in this particular shop. I can in the shop out, you know, the second shop out here, the big shop. So yeah, in here, no. Crazy kid, and she's an awesome cat. I don't know why she does that. She's just kind of nuts, you know. I have to walk back over there and read the comments. I see there's a few more of them over there. Don't look. Don't look. You didn't see me just do that. Okay. That's an awesome trick. Trying to think. The flex plate thing, yeah, it works. Trying to think of what, there's so much lag on this video, I'm trying to think of when that comment was made. That's an awesome trick, cool. Thank you for saying that. I don't remember what it was about. Well, it doesn't really make the crank, Kevin, it doesn't really make the crank easier to lift out. It just makes it more convenient to set somewhere where you don't get a bunch of dirt and stuff all over the bearings. And you can set that down on the workbench and throw a trash bag over it, zip it tight on the bottom below the oil seal right here. And yeah, nothing gets into it. And Charles, what was wrong with it? Nothing. I mean, it was a good engine. It looked really good, but I never just get an engine and try to fire it up, because you could take the oil pan off and wiggle every rod, then have one rod that's got a little bit of wear on it where it's transferring metal, and it'll feel tight and it'll seem good, and then you fire it up, it'll run good, and then it'll blow up a mile down the road. So always like to tear them all the way down, clean everything really good, and I'll go and I'll buy all new bearings and gaskets and just kind of rebuild them. And depending on what the bore looks like, I'll dingle ball hone them and stuff. You know, I don't think I'm going to have to send this block in to get it machined or anything. It looks really good. Oh, power supply and light bar. Yeah, that does. Yeah, that is really handy, because you can run quite a bit off of a computer power supply. Just, you know, tie all the 12-volt positives together and all the negatives together. And the green and the black wire on the main harness that plugs into the motherboard, put a switch on it to turn it on and off. Or just wire it together and plug it in when you want to use it, you know. Yeah, you can get like 3.3 volts, 5 volts, and 12 volts out of a power supply. Quite a bit of amps. And I've ran it for a pretty good duration. It's reliable. And also heats my shop up real good. So I don't normally leave it on for that long. Wow, that's interesting. There we go. Surprised nobody's like, yeah, take that timing chain off there first. I don't know why. I always leave it on there till last. I don't know why I do that. Probably just to bug people. It's engine technicians, professionals. Pop that off there, maybe. Come on now. Been on there a while, huh? Alrighty then. Set this over here, put the bolts back in the camshaft so you do not lose them. Actually, I'll bolt the whole gear back up to it eventually when I go to pull the cam out of it, but for now, just put the bolts in it and don't lose it. Gently lift that out of there. Set that right there for now. Hi Mara. Hope you guys are having a good night. Yeah, that's another thing about my live stream videos. I try real hard to keep it kid friendly. You know, you never know when kids are watching. Really hope kids ain't using me as a role model, but yeah, This is not exactly what, you know, you can do this when you grow up, but you're going to be broke a lot because this is not cheap having these kinds of hobbies. But spend all your money on race car parts, you're too broke to do anything else to get you in trouble. So also on this engine, it sat for a while, and maybe they're a little bit varnished up, but all the lifters are stuck in the bore. You notice the block's upside down with no valve train in it, except for the lifters are in the bore, you know, and none of them fell out. So what I'm going to do, what I do is I'll bolt this cam gear back. You can't see anything I'm doing. Let me move the camera real quick. Trying to think. 72 or 71. I forget what year the block was. TLC Bear was he looked at the numbers on my last live stream. If you go in my last live stream video I uploaded of this engine teardown, look through the live stream comments if they're there. I don't know if they're still there or not, but he looked up all the information and found out it was a 354 volt main and what year and where it came from and where it was made and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a 0010 block. Came out of a 60s to 70s Chevy C10. So yeah, in the case of when your lifters are all stuck, it sounds really dry. Spin that over a couple times, make sure the lifters are out of the way, and you can just kind of start gently pull and turn. Like I said, bolt the gear to the camshaft, it'll make it easier, and don't yank on it or force it, just slowly rotate it. If it gets, like see right there, it got tight on me because it's going through the next set of bearings. There'll be a line on your old camshaft where the oil was, where your bearing rides, just on the outside of it will be a line of oil to make it tight going through the bearings. Gently turn it back and forth and pull on it. Just rotate it around. It will come out. Just be gentle with it. Don't be clunking it around, because chances are most of you guys doing this are not going to put new cam bearings in it. Very rare that people actually put cam bearings in the engine. Oh, see, that's bad. Don't do that. Hung up on a lifter right there. Made a nice little thump. Yeah, most people don't put cam bearings in them, so you got to be careful not to thump this thing through there and bang a lobe off a cam bearing, because you will score up the bearing and destroy it. That is a tiny little camshaft. That's hilarious. I don't see any lobes that look. Oh, wait. Holy cow. Can you see what's wrong with this picture? Classic Chevrolet lobe missing. Look at that second lobe. Right there where my pinky's at. Where's the top of it at? This camshaft is wasted, man. There's another one. Right there. Rounded off lobe. There's another one. Yeah. Half of the lobes are wore off this camshaft. So that means them lifters are mushroomed in there, which means I'm just going to flip the block over and send them in a cam tunnel. Simple. You know, don't be worrying about hammering those out and doing all that bull crap. This camshaft, might as well throw it across the room. Ain't no good. We'll lay him on the floor with that old junky cam gear. Always use double roller cams, timing chains. Don't use cheap crap. My wife's commenting, you ever gonna get any work done? Oh, there's a bunch of comments. I missed a few of them here. Yeah, it was a truck motor. Yeah, you gotta remove the fuel pump push rod. That'll make things hard on you if you don't. I've done that before. Yeah, I actually run on my camshafts or all my engines. You guys are not gonna probably like this. Like a lot of people is probably gonna completely disagree with me. But I run 1540 Luke or 1540 Rotella T4, just like the big nasty diesel engines run at my work. I run that 1540 Rotella, and then I run 10% Lucas oil stabilizer, and on top of that I'll put a 16-ounce bottle of ZDDP, Lucas ZDDP. So the 2 Lucas additives and the Rotella, and I run that in my work truck, the T-bucket, my race car, the van, every small block Chevy engine I own, I run Rotella oil in it and Lucas additives. And I've never had a problem with a wiped cam lobe or, a washed out bearing or anything crazy happening. And I abuse my engine pretty badly, a lot of them. Marquis, I am on YouTube, guy. Well, hi Mara, how you doing? Yeah, I've known a lot of people that ran Rotella and stuff, and a lot of people give me a lot of grief over that. $377 the lumen rod's a 511 block. Filled to the top of block fill. You mean solid block? Ain't that like what the crazy diesel guys do, is make the block solid? And I think when I was on your channel, I was seeing some really cool stuff. They're CF mechanic. Yeah, I think you got some fun toys over there. I was trying to think, there's so many of you guys, it's hard to remember, who's who and who's got what vehicle and everything else. Oh, wow. I want to get that lifter out and show you guys. That's a classic GM white lifter right there. Can't spin the engine over this direction. Gotta go this direction. So my engine stand is junk. Alright. Start knocking these out of there. Yep, that's the one. That was almost wore through to the, yeah, that was pretty bad. Let's see if I can get this in the camera. That's what a wiped lifter looks like. Slightly mushroom, not too bad, but nice and concave. Pretty smooth. But yeah, you can clearly tell that was very unhappy. That's what these do if you don't run really good oil in them. Yep. Oh, that one didn't hit the floor. I don't like it when that happens. There we go. These are all trash. Oh, that's really loud. If you guys are using headphones, I apologize. I'll put my shoe under there, maybe stop them from being so loud. There, easy. That flipped over real easy. Don't weigh nothing no more. Concrete for the coolant ports. That's intense. Marquette, like Michigan. Okay. Looks like they were a little loose. No, they wasn't bad. I was just popping them through there. Wow, so it's wow, that's intense, man. So you got water, you got coolant running through the heads, and that's it. And yeah, these small block Chevys are notorious for that. I think it's, to be honest, like I've ran comp cams for, that's all I've ever ran, and never had a problem with a wiped lifter. You know, I think it's GM uses like a cheap camshaft or cheap materials or something, or either that or, you know, you got to think though. You really think GM is going to fire this up and let it, you know, do its break in and all that stuff? They probably throw them all together and shoot them out the door, you know, and they don't ever get a proper break in except for driving out of the factory. So I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that a lot of the factory motors have wipe lobes on them. Yeah, I've had really good luck with comp cams. I use the double roller timing sets. I use their cams and their lifters, push rods, you know, springs on occasion. Retain. You know, I've used a lot of their stuff. It seems to be really good. I've never had a problem with it yet. Yeah, I like solid cams. That's probably the way to go on most performance applications. But the hydraulic flat tappets are really nice because you ain't got to pull the valve covers off every, you know, other week. Like the S10 in the garage, yeah, solid flat tappets, and you got to adjust them a lot. So, this block is pretty much ready for cleaning. Pretty damn close to it. Yep, that one's always in there good. Yeah. Better not do the hammer approach on live YouTube. All kinds of people be giving me hell for that. My wife don't care what I do out here. Speaking of fuel pump rod, look what I forgot. I bet you that's what I got hung up on there towards the end. Trying to think, I did have that upside down when I pulled that out. So yeah, that rod would be totally in the way. That's funny. I was just talking about, you know, I forgot that once before, and then here I just did it on live YouTube. That's funny. I will remedy that real quick. Oh yeah, let's drop that. We don't need that, do we? There's that little rod we was talking about just a minute ago. Alright, now then, I gotta take that out, but I will do that here in a little while when I start cleaning it, because I want to clean some of this crap out before I take that out of the way. But yeah, now I'm ready to start spraying this block out with the pressure cleaner up there on the wall. I don't know if a lot of you guys ain't seen that yet, but got a fuel tank with solvent in it, aka diesel fuel. The fuel pump that goes through a welding jet 35 thousandths that goes into a three-way connection with air in it and a hose with a stick on the end of it that sprays high pressure air and solvent anywhere I need to. Very, very handy for cleaning out blocks and oil galleries and everything. It's very handy, and it don't rust afterwards. What's all them noises going on? Oh, people are messaging me on Facebook. And yeah, I'm sure it does have the bolt hole in front of it. Yeah, it does. It's just got the little short stubby bolt in it. A lot of people don't know about that, but yeah, you can actually, when you're replacing a fuel pump, push the rod up and put you a longer bolt in there, and just don't Superman tighten it. You know, you'll gouge, you'll hurt things, but just snug that up and that'll hold the rod up out of your way while you put your new pump in. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Maybe somebody learned something. Because yeah, that makes things a lot easier changing a fuel pump. Just right there, loosen that bolt up. When you take your pump off, put your longer bolt in there. Like I said, just hold that rod up, snug it up, change your pump. Don't forget to take that long bolt out of there and put the little short one in. If you don't put anything in there, it will leak oil. Use thread sealant. Yeah, the newer blocks don't have the newer, but my TBI block doesn't even have the hole drilled for the oil pump or for the fuel pump push rod. You can't put it's got the block off plate, but when you take that plate off, there's no hole in it for the push rod, so you can't put a mechanical pump on it, which has bit me in the butt for months and months and months. I had one of them stupid clunker pumps on there, and that daggone thing just kept losing its prime. I love mechanical pumps. I hate them stupid electric pumps. I'm gonna be tripping all over the place if I don't pick him up. Yeah, I'll sweep him into a pile underneath the engine stand. I gotta get a little shovel in here and scoop all the grit up under there. It's when I was cleaning the block, I made a really nasty mess. I cleaned some of it up, but not all of it, because I figured it's just gonna get dirty again. Normally, I have like a puppy training pads. I'll put underneath there, kind of make it to where it's soaks up some of the grease and stuff. The puppy training pads actually were really good. I had some of these other absorbent pads or something that I got from the landfill a while back that somebody threw away, and it was great big, like 6 foot square. Looked kind of like a puppy pad or like a hospital bed liner or something, but you know, they didn't soak up anything. It's like they repelled water and not at all any good for what I was using it for. Am I going to use a stock steel crank? I'm not sure yet. Uh, my original, well, my thought process was I wanted to build a little short stroke high RPM motor. I wanted to put a 3-inch crank in it because 3-inch crank and a 4-inch bore, that'll get you a 302. So I was wanting to do that and get different rods and get the right pistons with the right pin height and build like the old, like the 69 302 that they had like in the Camaros. And the crank's like $700 and the rods are like $800. And the pistons, I don't even know what they cost because I can't figure out what length of rod I need with what pin height and everything. I got to do some calculations, and it was all just adding up, adding up, adding up. So I'm thinking, yeah, probably going to use that crankshaft, put all new bearings in it, and just make a really good solid 354 bolt main. Put a real nice camshaft in it. That way I got good vacuum for power brakes, but still got good torque down low and it'll idle good. Yeah, I don't want to build a really wild engine out of this one, I don't think. I want something that's kind of more streetable, so I'll probably be putting it in a future project. Maybe. Depends. It depends on how I build it, what it's going into. If I build it mild, it'll go into something cool. If I build it wild, it'll go into something really cool. The old compactor's still chugging along. I ran it for about an hour and a half today and overheated it real badly. The temperature gauge said it was fine, right in the middle. Then I had a couple bumps, obviously don't ride real smooth. And all of a sudden I looked down and both temperature gauges, or both the oil and the water temp, were pegged. So I was like, oh crap. I immediately let off and let it idle for a little bit. And the longer I let it idle, the higher them temperature gauges went up. So I had to shut it down, and it boiled over real bad. I'm going to have to put a bunch of water in it tomorrow. Give it a little love. It's unhappy, but had plenty of water in it when it started. I ran it too long because the temperature gauges were lying to me. Usually I can get about 45 minutes out of it, and that thing's screaming hot. It's a piece of crap. And yeah, I'd like to get a 400 small block and put a 350 crank in it and make a 377. .350 rods or 3.75. I don't know. I think the 350 is what, 3.48 on the stroke. I think the trying to think. I'd have to look at I got a PDF file that pretty much has all that information on it, what length rod everything uses and all that stuff. No, ain't no plans of getting anything new at the landfill. We keep that old junk running forever, and when it breaks, we just fix it. So look up the video fixing stuff with a question mark at the end of it on my channel, and you'll see what I mean about how we just fix things and keep it going. You could stick all 4 of your fingers through the gap in that master link that we was welding together, not bolting together, welding it together for like the 5th time. Had to put new idlers on it, so we had to cut the master link of the track apart because all the bolt holes stripped out, so we welded it together. And yeah, definitely big bore short stroke is good for high RPMs. Longer the stroke, the more piston speed you have and the more dangerous things get. That's like that 427 in the S10. I don't rev it that high at all because it's got a lot of piston speed on it. My cat says hi. Don't know if you can hear that or not. But yeah, I take that big engine in the S10 up to 7,000, 7,200, depends on how aggravated I am. Sometimes I'm at the racetrack and it just won't do what I want it to. So I'm like, hey, we're just going to crank that rev limiter up a little higher and, you know, ride it out a little farther each gear. I broke it into the sevens though. I was proud about that. Deep into the sevens too. Went from running 8.3, 8.5 every pass with a crappy transmission right straight into the sevens every pass. You know, not doing the full potential. I know that I can break into the sixes now. I know I can. Because I was running 75 or 7.50 at a 93 mile an hour or 98 mile an hour. I'd have to look at the time slip. I know I can get into the sixes with that damn thing. I just got to get some good tires on it and turn up the rev limiter a little more. I think I'm running out of boost on the top end now. I can't look at the gauge and drive and my camera won't pick it up, but it seems like I'm running out of blower on the top end of the track. As soon as I get up around 4,000 or 5,000, it's tapering off. Yeah, don't shift until you're right on the edge of valve float. That's exactly right. That's the way I used to do things, and that's why I'm so good at building these engines, because I used to like to shift right at the edge of valve float, and I did that, for a while, and then I started learning that that's not where top power is being made at. I've gotten to where I can kind of feel right when that engine's pulling good and when it just starts to nose over a little bit, and right when I just feel it start to nose over, should have already shifted. It's if you're feeling it nose over, you should already be shifting. I've learned that the hard way, but I'm getting pretty good at getting a feel for what the engine wants and where it's making its power at. Now that cat wants a stupid can of cat food. That daggone cat eats better than we do. She's getting kind of skinny and she's picky about her food. She ate dry food for years and years. He's like, oh, we'll get her some wet food and see if, because we started feeding the puppies wet food when they was getting bigger. And we was feeding the mama wet food too, trying to keep her making milk. And yeah, the cat food all of a sudden decides she likes it. And now she likes it a whole bunch. And now she's probably gained 5 pounds, And she'll meow and cause a ruckus and keep us up all night and bug us because she knows first thing in the morning she gets a can of food. Yeah, she's spoiled. And she's crazy. Cat wants to ride in a tea bucket. I'd pay to see that. Oh, man. Did they make a Chevy 305 4-bolt main? No, I don't think so. And I know they didn't make I don't think they made a 327 4-bolt main either, unless I think they did, but it's very rare. Most of the 327s you see, it's 4-bolt main. Somebody's de-stroked a 350 or trying to think. Somebody's telling me something about you can use a 307 block, build something cool out of it. There's so many different combinations. Well, yeah, I ain't gonna say your name because I don't want to. You know who you are, but shift point is horsepower. More comments. I lost it. Usually about 5,400 RPMs. Well, that depends on a lot of different things. Where your peak horsepower and your peak torque's at. A bone stock motor, yeah, probably 54. A bone stock 350, yeah, probably around 5,400 RPMs is your peak. Whatever you're going to get out of that motor, you ain't going to get much more if it's stock, okay? 6,500, they're floating the valves. Most of them, 6,200 is on the edge of valve float. But there you go, putting better heads on it that flows better, bigger cam, more duration, you know, then your peak power starts coming up and your RPM starts coming up, and you know, it's it all depends on the engine. You can't. I got $10 for a cat in a tea bucket. Oh man, no, I'm good. I'm good. I think the cat would probably shred me pretty good. What was that? 305,000 on a 305 and a Capri. 315,000. Yep, they're a lot of them will just last forever. It all depends on the engine, I think. It depends on who built them at the factory, who was, you know, I'd rather have an engine that's built on like a Tuesday, I think, than I would at a Friday when everybody's just sick of their job wanting to go home, you know. It was like that engine in that work truck out there, man. I had 360,000 miles on it before it even needed a timing chain or anything done to it. Like that thing just took a beating every day. I mean, I've had so many GM engines that's got so many miles on it, and they're just perfect on the inside. Some of them not so perfect, but they still good engines. You know, everybody's always knocking Chevrolet, but I tell you what, man, I really like them. Hey, TLC Bear joined us. Huh. I could have made a video of the compactor today. I ran it for about an hour and a half today, but that's kind of boring to watch. I mean, I can. We'd all have paid to see the cat in the tea bucket. Yeah, no, I'm good. I think I could get her in there and I could sit down with her in there, but as soon as I start that, all the razor blades are coming out of that cat. She's got like 20 of them. She knows how to use them. Yeah, actually, Barry, I got pulled it all apart, and the crank is in excellent shape. All the bearings look good. I had one bearing that had a little bit of metal transfer on it, where it had a ring around the bearing, and a slight little catch on the crank where it just almost catch your fingernail. But the crank's in excellent shape. I'm probably going to end up just rebuilding it, leaving it a 350. I don't know. It's too good not to just put it back together with some new bearings and some new rings and hone it out and clean it up real good. It'd make a really nice, solid engine. That's up in the air right now. Not 100% sure which way I want to go on this. It all pretty much depends on money at this point because, like I said, that little 3-inch crank I was wanting to build a 302, that's almost a $700 crankshaft. It's like 600 and something. And then, you know, by the time you buy rods and pistons and then bearings for everything, and yeah, it's going to get not cheap in a hurry. I keep my Chevys close and knock on the Fords. Next time I get that compactor running, I might make a video of it. It depends. I don't like really making a bunch of videos at work because, well, it's work. You know, I ain't supposed to be having fun out there. Holy cow! Another $10. Hey, thank you, Kevin. Give the kitty catnip and a tea bucket, right? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah. I'm not quite sure I want to do that, buddy. I don't think the cat would like that at all. I much appreciate the donation. Now that really does help the channel out. Much obliged. Thank you very much, Betty. Nothing a good polish on it would be good to go. Yeah, I think a little bit of croaker's cloth. I could clean that right up. Like I mean, even the back side of the croaker's cloth, like just a rag, rub it around there. I mean, it is super, super smooth. Ferds. Can you put a crankshaft in a 305 out of a 350? Yes, you can. Yes, it'll fit, but no, it's not balanced the same, I don't think, because the piston weight's different on a 350 than it is a 305. Actually, TLC Bear can answer that question. I know they fit. I know you can put a 400 crank in a 350. You can put a 400 crank in a 305. You can put any crank in anything and make it fit, but I'm not 100% sure. I know the main journal size, the rod journal size, and the stroke is all the same on a 305 and a 350. So yes, the crank will fit, but I'm not 100% sure if it's balanced exactly the same. I know they use the same harmonic balancer and the same flex plate / flywheel, but as for the actual counterweights on the crank itself, I don't know. It's not that much different, but you'd have to definitely research that before you did it. And again, thank you, Kevin, thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. And yeah, that's another thing. Like Kevin said, you gotta see if you got one piece of remaining seals. Was it all standard then? Actually, to be honest, I did not even look. Let me look real quick. Huh. Gotta love these old bearings. I am not 100% sure. The bearings did not say STD on them, but they don't have a over or under size stamp on them either. Just says GM 400. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, I'll just get out the micrometer and measure that real quick. And yes, the cool thing about destroking is you don't have to worry about clearance and interference. Yes, very much so. Jason, thank you. Or you're welcome. You know, I'm trying to catch up on these comments. Yeah, and you do have to use spacers when you put a 350 crank in a 400, different main bearing. On the harmonic balancers, actually you can use a 305 harmonic balancer and timing cover together on a 305 balancer and timing cover together on a 350, because I've done that. And you can also use a 350 balancer and timing cover on a 305. Since they're internally balanced, the size of the balancer doesn't really have an effect on it, but most of the 305s will have a 6-inch balancer on them. Most of the 350s will have a V8, but I've used them both ways and it doesn't matter. But the 350 timing marks and the 305 timing marks on the valve cover are different between the 6-inch and the 8-inch balancer. So definitely pay attention to that if you're putting engines together out of multiple engines. Yeah, what he said. Oh, you have to use a dowel pin with them bearings? See, I've never de-stroked one. I've always, put bigger cranks in them. I've never went the other way. And yeah, I did clean the block up a little bit. I got a pump and a fuel tank and air supply up there. I wire brushed it off with a wire wheel and I sprayed it down. But on the inside, I haven't cleaned anything on the inside of that block yet. It was in really, really good shape. I haven't really looked at the boards yet. I guess we can do that since we're live. All the, like I said, all the main journals and bearing journals on that crank were really, really nice. Really happy about that. The cam was shot. For those of you just tuning in, I see there's a few more on here. Yeah, the cam was shot. Oh, okay, I got you now. About the dowel pin. Let me get a light here. I don't know how close I'm going to be able to get this camera because it's on a tripod. Whoa, hang on. Going for a ride. Hey, is it just me or am I seeing cross hatching in there still? There's a couple little scratches going up and down, but I'm still seeing the cross. Ooh, yeah, that one's got a little wear on it. But I'm still seeing cross hatching marks in there. That one's got a little wear on it too. Nothing that ain't, oh heck, that's just where I pulled the piston out of it. That ain't even hardly a groove. That's a little bit of wear, but not too shabby. I've started with a lot worse. Let's look at this side. Not bad. Not bad at all. That back one has got some marks in it. Not really, that's just, yeah, there's one little scratch in there. You ain't gonna be able to see it. One little scratch in this one. But it don't even catch your fingernail ever so slightly. Oh, there's just barely a ring ridge on it. Just ever so slightly. Yeah, this thing's in really good shape. Like that don't have any ring ridge. That one there's smooth. That one there's smooth. These two have a little bit of ring ridge. That one, the back one will catch your fingernail. That one will catch your fingernail. That one's smooth. That one's smooth. That one's smooth. That one will catch your nail. There's 3 holes with a bad ring ridge. The other ones are not even bad. I wouldn't call that bad. Like that's better than any engine I've ever tore apart. Usually they're like, 30 thousandths of ring ridge on it. Yeah, that's in better shape than I thought it was. Awesome. It's ready for NOS. No. Yeah, I didn't see any cracks in it. Yeah, I figure just, heck, don't even, just a dingle ball hone on that thing. It'd be just fine. I wouldn't be afraid to run it like that. Gotta catch up on the comments here. Nah, I don't want to make another stroker motor. Yeah, I'm saying some old guy had this motor and never drove it or something. Because on the inside of that, I haven't cleaned any of that. Look how clean that is. Now I've sprayed the outside of the block off, obviously, and I've wire brushed the outside of the block, but I haven't cleaned anything on the inside, and it's nice. I couldn't believe it when I started pulling it apart. The crank looked like it hadn't ever really had any miles on it. Hey, you taking off on us, Charles? Good night, buddies. Good seeing you. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate you guys watching my shenanigans. It's not real exciting tonight, but something to look at, I guess, if y'all bored. Whoa, yeah, let's show all my pile of junk under there. I need to clean my garage. Underneath the workbench catches all the stuff that I don't want to have to deal with. And that happens a lot. I need to clean that out under there. There's so many parts and random stuff. So that's when I tear down the motor. Obviously, I've marked all the rod caps, got her all lined up. And I'll start taking these one by one. What I'll do is I'll have a dirty side and a clean side. Clean this bench off. I'll take one piston at a time in there to the parts washer. Clean everything up really good. And come back over here, set it over here, spray it down with WD-40 and clean everything up, you know, like brand new. And then oil everything down with WD-40 to keep it from surface rusting on you. And then as soon as I get everything, I want to measure the crank, that's what I meant to do. I meant to measure the main journals and the rod journals. After I get everything measured and get bearings and gaskets and everything I need to build the engine, I'll start assembling everything. Like I said, I'm going to do a live stream on that. And, you know, because it is still being video recorded kind of to where other people can watch it after the stream's over. So I think that's really cool. So if anybody's like wanting to know how to build an engine, pretty soon you guys are going to see this to go together. Also check out TLC Bear's channel. He does really good work on engines. I really enjoy watching his channel. I wish I had more time to watch YouTube and to do, you know, to learn stuff, because I learn a lot from watching people do stuff, you know. Are the pistons marked standard? I doubt they have any kind of stamping on them like that because they're factory. I'm pretty sure they're just a standard 4-inch piston. Now they look original. They don't have any stampings like that on it. Let me, I'll just start measuring stuff here real quick and we'll see what we got. I just remembered I broke the wheel off my calipers. That'll be fun. As long as they still zero out. And they do not. Got a little dirt on them. There we go. There we go, got them zeroed out. There you go, Charles. That's the way to do it, buddy. There you go. Yeah, I'd love to have a hot tank one day. I thought about trying to build one. That comment cracked me up. Sorry, that's funny right there. Oh shoot. Get this over here in the light where I can see what I'm doing. Standard, pretty sure. Can you all see what I'm doing right now? You can't, can you? I'm bad at this running the camera stuff. Let me get you down here. You kind of see what I'm doing. That's as low as she goes. Good enough. So we got 450 thousandths. 2 inches, 450. What that's looking like. 2-inch 450. I think that's standard, ain't it? Then we got 2-inch 100 thou. I love that tinging sound it makes when it's on the. Oh wow, that's exactly the same. There is no wear on this at all. Man, look at that. So far, all three main rod journals that I've checked has been dead on. 4 is dead on. 5 is dead on. 6. This is a really good crankshaft. 7. 8. All 8 rod journals are dead on. That's impressive. Cheat it, brother. Yeah, buddy. Hey, take her easy, Jason. Thanks for stopping by. Somebody retracted the message. Uh-oh. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't gonna give anybody a hard time. I'm gonna go ahead and measure all the rest of these main journals real quick. Two 450. Got it on oil gathering, oil passage. 2 450. And 2 450. So I think them are standard. Loves by name or Scott Hi, Loves by name or Scott DeMario. Just joined, working on a 4-volt main 350. Yeah, Kevin, there you go. Kevin answered that for you. Just now, if you're just joining me, we just tore this down the rest of the way so I can start cleaning. Focus. So I can start cleaning it. Everything appears to be, I got to double check online, double check with measurements. Everything appears to be standard size bearings. Everything looks good. All the cylinder walls look good. I don't know what this is going into yet. I'm just rebuilding it for now. Okay, yeah, Mike's how-to. Yeah, the TLC Bear's a very good channel to watch. If you're new to building engines or if you're trying to learn something, head on over to his channel and check out his video. There's a lot of them old boys like that I watch their videos just to learn something, because you can't watch one of his engine builds without learning something. Now, there's another one I used to watch. I don't like to mention channel names that often either, because I don't like to vouch for a lot of people, but TLC Bear, he's one to check out. There's another one that pretty much just deals with heads and porting and stuff, head bites, porting. I don't know if he's even around anymore. His channel kind of went dead a few years back, but I learned a lot from kind of watching some of his videos on doing my own porting work and stuff. I don't think I've ever made a video about that, but I did port my own heads on that S10 and port match it to the intake for the blower, and I port matched the both to a 1206 Felpro. So you can definitely learn a lot from, watching other people do stuff. Yeah, I can't believe I broke the thumb wheel off that daggone thing. My grandpa gave me these calipers, and the other day I was moving the thumb wheel and it just broke right off there. So of course that's aluminum pot metal, so I can't use the thumb wheel anymore. Might get some JB Weld or some Quick Steel and try to fix that one day. That's fine. How radical are we going here? I don't know yet. Depends on how much money I can come up with to build it. I might just put it back together as a 354 volt main. It'd be a really good solid truck engine. I mean, that crank is in excellent shape. The rods are in good shape. The pistons look good. I'm saying new bearings, new gaskets, new rings, dingle ball hone this thing, clean it up, probably a new oil pump, and this would be an excellent, excellent engine. That other one on the floor, I'm curious to get that other one over there tore apart. I want to see what's on the inside of that one. Well, I just got engines and transmissions and crap everywhere around here. Oh, I did get a, that's weird. Did get an engine stand or a cradle. I'm going to take that engine cradle, put this block in it after it's done, and I'm going to weld a support for a radiator. It's actually the engine cradle sitting on its back right now. It's wheels up. But yeah, I'm going to use that engine cradle. I'm going to build a run stand to where I can drop an engine down in the cradle, bolt it up, and fire it up and run it. And break it in, on the shop floor. Kind of make a test stand. That way, if any oil leaks, anything goes wrong, need to adjust something, take something apart, it's right there, simple, easy to get to. Then you can just throw the engine in the vehicle, fire it up, and drive it. No worries. It's already good to go. Everybody keeps saying LS engine and nitrous. I don't want to do either one of those. I don't like LS engines. Don't get me wrong, they're great engines. I love them, but I don't like them. Not for me. That's expensive. I like small block Chevys and nitrous. Well, let's just say I ain't got the money for that kind of stuff. I'm you get just a little too carried away and you blow your engine up, and that's expensive. I like to be able to make pass after pass and not have to worry about hurting stuff. If you need more power, put a blower on it. Add a little boost to it, she'll go. I'm not big on nitrous. I like the boom you get when you hit the button, just that right now power. That'd be cool to have. Going down the track, somebody's starting to pull you around you. Nope, boop, hit the button and go faster. That's cool, but I'm the kind of guy that wouldn't be able to do that. I'm the kind of guy be like, oh, beep, 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 hitting that button every 30 seconds, every chance I get, and blowing the tires off the thing, having fun, and my engine would be blown up. That blower, I can go out and just thrash on that thing. It don't care. Yep. My grandpa, all the time, I told him I wanted to build a little short stroke motor, build a 302. He's like, man, if you need more power, stroke it. If you still need more power, bore it. Nothing beats cubic inches, no replacement for displacement. He's all the time drilling that into me. He's like, don't go smaller, go bigger. Screw the little short stroke engines, build a great big engine. He don't, I don't know. I'm wondering if that big engine I got in that race car ain't running out of wind at the top end. Because I can see where, I can watch on my videos and I can see where I'm making good boost until about, looks like 3,500, 4,000 RPM, it tapers off. And then the camera shakes and you can't see the gauge anymore. So I don't know really what it's running, but it seems like I could probably maybe get a little bit more out of a smaller displacement engine with that blower setup. I think if I want to go bigger on that, I'll have to move up to like a 671 or something a little rowdy. That little 177, it pumps out some pretty good air, but not enough. 3-inch exhaust on the T bucket or the S10. I got 3.5-inch exhaust on the T bucket, and I got 3-inch on the 2.5 to. I just right now on the S10 I got the regular collectors on the headers, 2.5-inch to a piece of flex pipe that just goes right out behind the front tire. Like literally, I have 16 inches of exhaust right now on the S10. Sounds amazing. Neighbors probably hate it. But yeah, Charles, my grandpa told me that. He said you can probably get more out of it without the blower. He thinks the blower's holding that engine back. And yeah, I can go smaller on the blower pulley, and I can also get a 1 inch bigger crank pulley for the blower, and that makes it surge really bad, like so bad you can't drive it. And I tried that. Put a smaller pulley on it, and yeah, it surges so bad you can't hardly drive it, and it just doesn't seem like it's happy with it. I didn't even try to make a pass with it like that. And yeah, it's a right now it's a 3.5 inch up top and a 6 inch on the bottom. And I think a 2.85 or something on the top there for a little bit, and I took it right back off. Well, yeah, and see, I'm thinking the way it was running, I'm thinking it was more needed more carburetor than more fuel. I think that little 850 on top at that point just wasn't. That's not a supercharger carburetor. That's just a regular Holley HP 850 double pumper. It's not built for a blower. So that might be part of it. I need to get a real carburetor, like a Dominator 1050 put on it or something, and switch to alcohol. Yeah, I've thought about that. The only problem with that is the only place to get E85 around here is in a Terre Haute. That's like 30 miles from here. So I don't really want to drive 30 miles every time I got to put gas in a race car. I've been cheating. Now you didn't hear this from me, but rumor has it that sometimes you can go to the airport with a couple big gas cans and get 110 low lead. Put that right in your race car, and it's cheaper than race gas, runs better than pump gas. Got a good kick to it for the amount of money you pay for it. Not saying that I'd run avgas in my race car or anything, but just saying you can go to the airport with a couple gas cans and get aviation fuel. Runs good. The 305 I have, it's a 305 with a 400 crank board 30 over, and it's 3.5 inch exhaust. That's the engine that's in the T bucket. That's the engine that used to be in the white S10 with the 5 speed. Around here, no, they got a. Well, see, I'm not sure about the rules, but the airport here, they got a self-serve pump that you just stick a credit card in and get your gas. Whether or not you're supposed to have a license to do that or be a pilot or something, I'm not 100% sure, but if you know a guy, you can get aviation fuel, trust me. And heck, I know people that go down there and they get it in just 5 gallon jugs and they run it in their chainsaws and stuff because it runs better and it don't eat up the fuel lines and carburetors and everything. And yeah, the AV gas, I always run a Lucas injector cleaner slash valve train lubricant. I run that with the AV fuel when I put it in there, just a little bit of it. I'm thinking about a quart per 5 gallons is what I was putting in it. But just because it had the upper cylinder lubricant on it and all that, it seemed like it would help. I don't know if it did anything or not, but I've never blown anything up yet. And as rich as it's running, I'm sure, if it was going to tear something up, it probably would have. How much for the aviation fuel? It was $6 a gallon when I bought it. I've heard you can get it cheaper than that, but 4.85 per gallon, yeah, that's cheap. Yeah, it was like $6 a gallon when I bought it. That's been a little while. Actually, come to think of it, I need to use that up or drain it out and put something else in there. How often do I foul plugs? Never. I use really, really cold plugs in that engine. I'm talking they barely stick out of the end of the metal on them. I'll have to show you the plug when I pull them out sometime. But yeah, I use really the coldest plugs I can get for that engine to prevent fouling and pre-ignition and stuff like that. Somebody told me I was gonna blow my spark out running them cold plugs. I'm like, man, I ain't going that crazy with it. That's what turbo guys got to worry about that stuff. Not me. I'm only making 5 to 10 pounds of boost. And I had it making upwards of 15 pounds of boost, but that was only right off the flash of the throttle. So I've never ran it up top like that. Like I said, I didn't have that small pulley on there very long, so it wasn't liking it. I think that one video I had at a nasty blower surge or something like that. That's when I had that small pulley on there, and I drove around back and parked it in the shop. And I was like, "Yep, that's making all the neighbors mad." Just sounds like you're revving it up nonstop. People hate that. Well, I guess now's the point in time where I need to clean my shop floor and sweep all these lifters up and get ready to start hosing that block down. I don't know if I want to get that dirty tonight or not. I'm trying to make a video on this earlier. I'll unplug my phone charger here. Hopefully it doesn't freak out the live stream. I made a video of this earlier and it was taking so daggone long to upload. I gave up on it. Here's my parts washer that I built. High pressure air cut off with a really crappy tubing cutter. Makes a perfect nozzle. But I got a tank. I'll either put solvent diesel fuel in this tank. Runs to this pump. Pump goes through some fittings with a welding jet in there. 35 thousandths welding tip. A 35 thousandths welding tip. Sprays the fuel in here. I got air that comes through this side, much as I want. Fuel and air come out here. Really good for cleaning parts. Really bad for enclosed areas. If you do that, it will make the room foggy with diesel fumes. So lots of ventilation, lots of air moving, no smoking when you're using something like that. But as for cleaning parts with it, man, it works fantastic. You can blow out all the oil galleries on there and every little passageway and get things just really, really super clean like that. Sorry about the shaky camera. I'm trying to move stuff around here and show you guys stuff. Oh, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good at all, having the fuel jug split open on you. That'd make a hell of a mess. The VP jugs did that. I'm kind of glad I didn't buy any of those. Hi, Paul. How you doing? What size t-shirt? Extra large. Unfortunately, extra large. I'm kind of been eating too much lately, and I'm getting a little fat, so I need to quit eating so daggone much. If it wasn't for my wife cooks so daggone good, I wouldn't be fat like this. You always know when dinner's ready because the smoke alarm's going off. Apparently she ain't watching or she'd be commenting on that one. No, diesel isn't that flammable. You can put a bucket of diesel on the ground and put a blowtorch on it. It ain't gonna light on fire. But when you mix diesel with air like that, you're atomizing the fuel and you get a real nice fog. And I am sure if you tried to light that fog on fire, it would go whoosh and it would light. I'm almost positive of it. So yeah, diesel, I don't think it would really I don't think it'd be that dangerous, of lighting up. But like I said, I'll show you guys when I start cleaning this up. I'll videotape it and show you guys what I mean. It does produce a little bit of a mist in the air, a little bit of a fog, because you're spraying fuel and air, on something, and it's obviously going to go somewhere. So yeah, it does probably make a hazard. I'm sure if you had an open flame going and you're spraying that nozzle at it, it would probably light it up. But I've dealt a lot with oil burners and stuff, and I know what burns and what don't. And yeah, diesel fuel, let me tell you, you get diesel fuel in a nice fine mist, and it will go nuts on you. And yet, yeah, somebody just let me read that. Yeah, somebody said coolant is more flammable. Now, I wouldn't think antifreeze would be flammable, but here, see, when I was younger, I can remember my dad doing something. He had a Chrysler Fifth Avenue. The car was hot, sitting there running, and the heater hose had a T fitting in it with a cap like you screw a garden hose to, and that T fitting was plastic and it broke off, and that coolant line went right towards the engine and got all over the manifold. And let me tell you, coolant will burn. I don't know how, but coolant will burn, and it will burn very good. Trust me. Me and my dad found that out the hard way. I was probably 10 or 11 years old. I was a little kid. But yeah, I remember that Chrysler Fifth Avenue. There's some pretty good flames under the hood there for just a minute. Now, it didn't continuously burn. It seems like it has to have something hot that makes it sizzle up and evaporate. It seems like the fumes want to burn, not the coolant itself. But yeah, let me tell you, it will. I think that's why a lot of drag strips, one, they don't like antifreeze on the track. Two, it's probably safer not to have it in the car because of that. But yeah, most drag strips won't let you run coolant. They want water only. I mean, there's got to be a reason for it. But yeah, I've seen coolant burn one time. Don't want to ever see that again. Oh, I guess I haven't done a video on that. No, yeah, you're right. I haven't done a video on that yet. I will show you guys real quick, actually. Oh, right in a drive-in theater. Yeah, people would probably be not happy about that. I'm going to take you guys off this tripod here. We're going to take a walk out to the other shop. Bear with me for a second. I haven't made an update video on this tea bucket. I got a new radiator for it. What ended up happening is that little balance weight. Whew, camera's a little laggy. Oh, this thing's really hot too. The little balancing weight on that fan came off and shoved itself right into the radiator. Right in there. So yeah, the company that sold this to me sent me a brand new radiator with a brand new fan and the mounting kit and all that, but the fan had the counterweight on it, so I immediately took that off. I don't have one unbalancing weights on there, and it's smooth. Also, this radiator was just on the, come on, focus. Come on, focus. Almost. This radiator was almost flawless when I got it. No little dings and nicks all over the front of it. This radiator, when I got it, was all kinds of dinged up and it looked really bad. So actually, I ended up with a better radiator because of that happening. It sucked that it happened that way. But I learned, them little cheap eBay fans, take the weights off of them. You don't need them. I mean, this thing doesn't shake or make any noise. Look at this. Smooth as silk. You don't need that weight on there. Take that off. Save yourself some trouble. But yeah, got another radiator on there. She's all mounted up. I drove this thing the other day. Actually, I drove it today too, and the brakes failed. Even though it's, you guys have known that it's had a couple wheel cylinders that's been out on it. Well, that's fine and dandy. You can still drive it like that, but now the master cylinder's out on it. So I've got to replace the master cylinder in it. That sucks. What I planned on doing, I got some of these connectors. And here's my parts washer for all of y'all ain't seen that. Bucket with a pump in it. You know, I got this flexible hose I can put wherever I want it. Got a switch to turn on and off with right there. Computer power supply running a Chevrolet fuel pump. And I got a light up there. But yeah, this table drains into there. It's really nice for washing parts in and stuff. But yeah, my shop out here is kind of a mess because I've been working on my shop in there. And this thing's in the way. So I need a I need a cherry picker that rolls easier. Like they need to make off-road tires for cherry pickers that make, you know, where you can roll it around on a floor like this. Not everybody's got a fancy concrete floor. No, I never use the orange stuff. I use, do I have a jug laying around? I only use Napa brand green full strength antifreeze. I do not use the pre-mixed stuff. I ain't paying for water. And I don't use the Dex Kill or the orange stuff. I only use the green stuff. I don't have a jug around here to show you. Also, something funny that's going on. The power steering leaks fluid out of the rack really bad to the point where I hate to show you guys this. This is embarrassing. I put a jug underneath of the steering rack, and then when I want to drive it, I take that jug and I pour it right back in that little pump right there, and I drive the damn thing. And then when I park it, I put the jug back under. And you know, I haven't had to buy power steering fluid in a long time. Yeah, I've used 30 weight oil in the power steering rack. I've tried 30 weight oil. I've tried hydraulic just because I had a little bit laying around. 30 weight oil works, but it's too thick and it takes forever for it to circulate, and you don't have power steering for the first 10 minutes you're driving it. ATF works great. Hydraulic fluid works great. I don't have the computer to read comments, so I'm gonna have to go in there and catch back up on the comments. Yeah, I painted that silver because it was like red and then crappy rust and stuff. I painted that silver and I'm regretting that. I would really like to paint that white to match that House of Colors paint my grandpa used. I'd like to paint it white, but then again, I don't want that line between white and chrome. So I figured, well, I'm gonna have to catch up on the comments. I'm gonna have to look at that. Anyway, I figured one of these days these Chinese headers are gonna rust up real bad because they're already starting to discolor a little bit. Not bad. They're covered in antifreeze right now. That's awesome. I haven't washed it yet. But yeah, I figure one day when the headers all rust, that's gonna be flat black front to back on the exhaust. But I like the chrome for now, and that's kind of ugly, that silver. But funny thing, I painted the inside of the exhaust pipe just because, you know, why not? I was there. And I've drove this thing quite a few times since then, and they're still silver. Like, this engine runs so clean and so good that it hasn't even turned that silver paint black yet. Like, that is such a sweet little engine. I love that thing. That's the only reason that I got rid of a really nice truck to get that S10 that had my engine in it, just to get my engine back, because I really, really like that engine. It's been such a trooper. Yeah, that's the one I was telling you. For those of y'all ain't seen this one, that's the 305 bored 30 over with a 400 crank. Makes it 334 cubic inches. That would be such a good truck motor to put in a work truck. It's got really, really good torque. You know, it's a good engine. I like that thing. Tin foil and water takes care of rust. I've never heard of that. I'll have to try that. And yeah, as aggressive as this thing is, the cam I got in it and everything, you know, I'm surprised it is running that clean. Like, I'll make a video as soon as I get the brakes fixed enough to drive it. I'll make a video driving this thing around. I'll show you before and after on the exhaust. That engine runs Super clean. I would almost say it would pass emissions. It doesn't really run lean. It acts like it runs rich, but it's just, I don't know. It's perfect. I love that thing. Anyway, go back in here. The reason for these tarps right here is I got air conditioning in here right now. It's awesome too. I really like it. I'm going to clip you guys back up to the tripod here and maybe, here we go. Go catch up on the comments right quick. Wow, semi burnt down because of a coolant leak. That would be intense. That would make me irritated. I've heard of people doing that, running only water in the block and looping it. Some of them I've seen them run water in the block, loop it, and just run a little bitty tank. And the heads on that engine in there, somebody asked what heads are on that engine. Them are small chamber 305 heads on that engine in there. Oompa Loompa kid. Yeah, somebody said something about the grill. I've thought about running a grill shell on that. I've been looking at them, but they cost too much. Yeah, and I agree. I've had some good running 305s. Back in the day, boy, back in the day, I had a good running 305 in that 67 Chevy there for a little bit. That thing was impressive. High tech redneck. High redneck. Kodak Black. Hey, David Cox, how you doing, buddy? Just seen you pop on there. Does that carburetor run any better than the one you had on it, buddy? And did it drive any different on the way home? There's a little bit of lag in the video here between the monitor I'm watching and the phone I'm videotaping with, so that's kind of why there's a delay in the comments. I can't read the comments as quick as they scroll past on the screen. They ain't on the screen but like 2 seconds. So I got it on the, got a computer set up over here where I can kind of see what's going on. The lag ain't as bad as it was. Ooh, that's trippy. That's kind of cool. The lag ain't as bad as it was. It's getting better. It was like a 30-second delay on everything I was doing. I don't know why I keep pointing this thing at the engine. Like, here, stare at that. Or don't focus. Don't focus. Come on now. Wow, I'm dirty. Ah, there you go. I'm learning all about this new phone technology. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to try to save them headers when they start to rust. Like I said, they was very cheap. Show some cool shit. Shot. Sorry. Language. That's bad. I just slipped up and cussed on here. Oh, well, it's live. Nothing I can do about it now. Yeah, I'm definitely going to try the tinfoil trick, though, just to see. Still have the power regulator. What power regulator are you talking about? talking about the Variac? That little thing? Not really on the way home. Use a quarter tank of gas? Are you kidding me? Quarter tank of gas would go like, what, 7 miles? Cool, well, I'm glad it runs better. Like I said, come by sometime. I'll work a deal with you on that. I ain't that worried about it. I wasn't using it, so I'm glad to see it get put to use. Yeah, the Variac. Yeah, I still got that old thing. That Variac is handy. Woo! Focus. Or don't focus, you know. Either way. Come on now. Stupid phone. There you go. Yep, still got that ugly thing. Very, very handy for running, you know, angle grinders and just, I've used that for all kinds of stuff. And you can hook little electric motors up to that thing and just ring, you know, wing them to death. It's funny. Yeah, this phone's getting really hot though. It's probably why it's not wanting to focus anymore. Oh crap. Purple power, are you talking about that like that mean green, like that kind of style of cleaner? First, I made the mistake on a 350 I was tearing down once. I thought it'd be a good idea to, well, I'll just clean everything with soap and water. You know, Dawn dish soap gets rid of grease. You know, so yeah, they cleaned up really nice. You know, before I could spray them off and get them dry, they was rusty. I couldn't get the rods and the pistons and everything. I couldn't get it dry before it had a layer of rust on it. I'm talking the rods, the crank, everything I cleaned. So yeah, I learned the hard way not to do that. That's why I use that engine cleaner I got, and I'd use diesel fuel first to knock the worst of it off and to get the worst of it, and then I'll use engine degreaser from Napa. Napa, ladies and gentlemen, go to Napa, get all your stuff there, or you know, Summit Racing, I guess. Right there, Summit Racing. Good people, good stuff. But yeah, I like Napa here in town because they all know me and they put up with my bull crap. I'll go in there and yeah, I need brakes for this. And like, what is that? Yeah, I have no idea. That's what I'm here for. You know, they've helped me get some pretty interesting projects going. Good old boys. Can't say the same thing for you know, what is it? AutoZone up here on the corner, the new place. Can't really say the same thing about them old guys. They I've been irritated a couple times with them. But Napa, they treat me good. Good people. Yeah, it is an expensive experience. The best thing you can do when you do something stupid like that, like believe me, I've done it. I've screwed up a whole engine worth of parts and got them all rusty before I can get them dry, including the block because I did the whole thing. I'm just going to take the block to the car wash and power wash it real good with the engine degreaser, and you know, yeah, that damn thing is rusty before I can get it home. If you do something like that, WD-40, man, spray everything with WD-40 and get you a good roll of paper towels, not the cheap ones, like the good blue shop towels, and get you a roll of WD, you know, can of WD-40, soak it down, rub it down with them blue shop towels, get all the rust off of it you can. You can bring parts back to life. I mean, it's just surface rust. It looks bad. It ain't gonna hurt nothing, but you can't put it together like that. You have to get rid of that, you know. I've been there, done that. Better give me some money. I'm telling you, man. They need to. I'm trying. Dude, you wouldn't believe the money I've spent at Summit Racing, well, and Napa, really, but mostly Summit Racing. Yeah, do a little advertising. That I wouldn't mind, you know, getting paid for that. Give me a discount on some parts. You know. No, I tell you, them old boys at Napa, they really do help me out on stuff. Like if there's a way they can give me a better price on something, they do. They're good people up there. They'll work with you. Like on I've had stuff where, you know, I need this right now and I can't pay the cord charge, and they know I'm going to bring it right back, and they just, well, bring it back and we'll go ahead and ignore the cord. You know, they've did that for me before. They're really good people. That's the Napa know-how. Holy crap. Did I miss a comment? Okay, I gotta go back up here. Number 5 and 8 cylinder ain't firing real good. Took the wires, it changed. Either the plugs are shot or you just had what I had happen and you got rounded off cam lobes, buddy. I hate to tell you that, but if you got a couple of rounded off cam lobes, that engine ain't gonna run right and it's gonna have a miss in it at idle. It might run good up top. So definitely check, take the valve covers off, have somebody crank the engine over, watch down the rocker arms and make sure every rocker arm is moving about the same amount. If you got a rocker arm that's just barely moving, you got a wipe lobe. That's an easy way to tell without tearing everything apart and checking. Oh, yeah, if the back two barrels on the secondaries are open the least little bit, it's going to run like garbage. It's going to run super rich. So, yeah, I could see how that would be causing you problems. I've actually had that happen before. I had an Elderbrock carburetor. You could whack the throttle a couple times and then it would idle to the moon. You idle that thing down, you'd have it running good, and then you'd be driving down the road and all of a sudden it would die and it wouldn't idle anymore, and you'd have to idle it back up, and the back secondaries were sticking, hanging open. Oh man, that's funny. Oh, I love going to different part stores and asking for parts like that. What car did it come off of? Yeah, like, does it matter? They're stubbies for a traction bar. Yeah, that's like going to AutoZone and telling them I need a transcoil. What vehicle? 1927 Ford Model T. What engine? Chevy 334. Well, I can't find that engine anywhere. Yeah, no kidding. He's like, does it have air conditioning? I was like, what? He asked me if it was two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. I was like, you know what? I'm going to Napa. I did too. I'll walk right out and go to Napa. Yeah, David. Yeah, I'll be here. Like I said, I get off work about 3:30, 4 o'clock on most days, unless I'm working late. Sometimes I work really late, but I should be here. Just hit me up on Facebook, and I'll probably be out in the shop here. And yeah, I've spent a whole bunch of money from Summit, Charlie. Or Charles. I've spent a whole bunch of money at Summit Racing. Let me tell you, they got quite a few of my paychecks. Oh wow, they asked if a C10's a 4x4. That's hilarious. Oh man, should have told them yeah, just to see what they come up with. And yeah, round lobes will cause a backfire under heavy load. But sometimes if they're just rounded, like that cam I just pulled out, I'll show you. Where'd I throw it? Okay, see, like, where are we at here? See, like that one right there, how it's just almost completely rounded off, hardly any lobe left. Now you're going to notice that. You're going to notice that quite a bit in the engine. Where's the other one at? Let me look here. There we go. That one right there. That one right there is rounded off pretty good, but not all the way. Still got a little lobe to it. Now you're not going to notice that in an engine as much as you would think. You know, you'll definitely notice one that's completely rounded, but if they're only halfway shot, you're not going to notice that. You might have a little bit of a miss at an idle. You might have a little bit of a, a intermittent miss, but you're not going to notice as much as you'd think. You'd be surprised how far out of adjustment valves can be, and the engine still fires on all 8 cylinders. The biggest problem is somebody finds that lobe that's wiped, and they're like, "Oh, we got a valve tip. We need to replace a lifter," and they'll throw a lifter in it. Or worse off than that, they're like, "Oh, this has got a, very bad valve noise. We're just going to tighten that down." And they tighten it down and not pay attention to how far they tighten it down, and they over tighten it, which will hang the valve open all the time, and then eventually wear itself in and make it worse. But yeah, I've seen people do some dirty things. I've seen people have an engine that's two out, 2 or 3 lobes are wiped on it. They're not going to rebuild it. They want to trade the vehicle off for something else. So they'll get new valve cover gaskets, pop the valve covers off, and just go through, tighten up anything that's loose. Blindly just tighten up anything that's loose, put it back together, change the oil. I've seen I've seen so many things that people's dying trying to make things just enough to get it out the door and sell it to some idiot. Yeah, sawdust in the gearboxes, and then I've never seen sawdust in an engine. I would think that the oil filter and the catch screen on the pump would catch a lot of the sawdust, but I've seen, gear oil in an engine. I've seen pure Lucas oil stabilizer in an engine. I've seen that motor oil, honey. I've seen grease. Gearboxes are the worst thing because you'll get a rear end that's anymore these days. I don't think it's so much of a problem. But back in the day, you go buying stuff from a junkyard, and you'd find a lot of interesting stuff. Adds horsepower. Yeah. Oh man. Run, Matt! I hear police. I don't run. I don't ever do nothing wrong. Cops are turning us rap off a jiffy. Oh man. He let the cat drive again. And yeah, you can pull the lifters and see what the cam's doing to them. But yeah, a lot of times people ain't gonna want to pull the intake off and do all that stuff to look at lifters. People are lazy. I've seen that a lot. Like I said, if they can pull the valve cover off and tighten something up, they'll do it just to get rid of it. But yeah, if y'all like me, when you get an engine, you don't even hardly turn it over until you take it apart and look at everything. Because, like I said, I turn that over as few times as possible. Like, did not want to, force any dirt and grime in between the rings or anything. I was easy on it. Uh-oh. Wife just commented. Now she commented a smiley face, so it looked like a frowny face on my phone. I was like, uh-oh, what'd I do? Hi, baby. Love you. She's probably hinting around like, hey, it's bedtime. You got to work in the morning, and I don't want you to be grumpy when you wake up. Worm love is bad, brother. What? uh, that's hilarious. On a lifter, if you got a lifter nut that when you're adjusting it, if one of them's looser than the rest, replace that stud and replace the lifter, or the lifter nut and the stud, and make sure the stud didn't pull out of the head, because a lot of times, now I've seen this, I don't know how many times on people's YouTube videos, they're taking them off with the impact. And when I take the adjusters off of the stud, I go super slow with it and take my time, and I'll go real slow. You never want to turn them real fast. Them are meant to be super tight on there to where they don't move. And if you turn them too fast, you gall them up and they don't work like they're supposed to. If you use an impact on them, they don't work anymore. You got to be easy with that, some of that kind of stuff. Oh, if you got screw-in studs, it should be all right. Just I get a new stud and a new nut for it, just to be sure. Because if it's too easy to turn, it'll vibrate loose and come out of adjustment. And yeah, you will smack a lobe right off the cam. Where either that or you'll bend a push rod. Oh, you got the locking adjuster on it? Yeah. I don't know if you got a locking adjuster on it, shouldn't be, should just adjust it and tighten it down. I'd have to look at what you're talking about really to kind of understand it. There's so many different options for valve train these days. There's all kinds of different setups you can get for them. Huh. It never gets tight. I take it all apart and I check the threads on everything. That's what she said. Somebody had to say it. Fuck's sake. Somebody had to. I don't blame you. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I wanted to. I couldn't help it. Yeah, you did. You totally set yourself up for that one. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, I'd take that all apart and I'd check the threads on it and I'd make sure either the adjuster or the locking nut isn't stripped or the stud. Just check everything. Kind of all you can do. Somebody asked what time is it here. I have no idea. I can't see the clock on my phone. I know it was around 9 or 9:30 when I started, and this has been going for 3 hours, or 2 hours and 55 minutes. So it's late. It's probably past my bedtime, but I'm used to it. I don't, I go to bed at like 12:30, 1 in the morning, and I wake up in the morning and go to work. It's not that big a deal. I don't know what time it is here. In Ohio, it's 12:24. That sounds about right. Let me see, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. That might be about right here, I think. Be on Craigslist all night looking for a block. Oh, that train's still halfway across town. You'll hear it real good here in a minute. There you go. Yeah, he's already going. He's on the other side of town now. See, that's a nice train operator. He only blows the horn a couple times going through town. There's this one idiot that comes through here, and he will lay on the horn from one end of town all the way to the other at like 3 in the morning. It's kind of funny, not really, but it's 4:20 here in Alabama. That's a good time. uh, yeah, I don't even hear the trains. Don't really bother me anymore. I tune them out. So daggone used to them. Trains and semi trucks across the street running. I'm still laughing at that. What time it is in Alabama? That's pretty funny. Speaking of Alabama, my new neighbors are from Alabama. They just moved here a few days ago. Seem like real nice people. I'm glad it ain't some stuck up, snooty rich people. That's the temp there, 420. Boy, there's a lot of 420 going around these days, ain't there? uh. That's funny. Boss man watching this video, he's probably gonna have some funny questions. Yo, man. And it continues. Wish it was 420 here for fuck's sake. Oh, that's funny. What cam going in it? I don't know yet. Comp cams. I know that. It'll be a comp cam. That's all I use. Yeah, my neighbors learned to heart. Hi, Robert. How you doing, buddy? I ain't seen you tonight yet. And yeah, the neighbors, well, to be honest, when they first moved in here, I'm like, all right, I got to mow the yard to mark the property line, and I got to fire up everything that's noisy so they can get used to all that shit right now. But no, they came over and checked out the tea bucket and checked out the hot rod, and I loaned them a mower so they can mow their yard and stuff. That was hilarious. I didn't think it was gonna. I figured it'd break, but I've been mowing with that piece of crap forever. It just won't die. Needs deck bearings so bad. You gotta wear earplugs. But yeah, no, the new neighbors are actually really cool. I'm surprised. So, seem like good people. Still out here catching the buzz. Damn it, I would have been. My beard's covered in some kind of nasty, funky stuff. Every damn one of them, that six pack. I'm gonna take that back. Tell them I want a new six pack. Can't do it tonight. It's too late. Figured the one time I was ready to drink a couple beers, like, no, you're not. You're totally not. There ain't a, yeah, brake clean. Somebody said brake clean earlier. I probably would have did that if I had some brake clean out here. Go stick it in the parts washer for a minute. Oh, that's funny. The cops made you fired up so they could hear it. Yeah, my neighbors at the old house kind of learned to quit calling the police on me because every time I'd fart too loud or the wife would yell at the dogs or I'd get grumpy in the morning and holler and stomp around. Yeah, the neighbors call cops on me. That lady was mean. I did not like her that well. But yeah, every time I make too much noise, they'd show up, and I learned the law. There's a noise ordinance to where you can make as much noise as you want between 7:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. So, yeah, buddy, they call and complain, and yep, 7:30 next morning, my stereo would be up as loud as I'd be running the crap out of four wheelers and lawnmowers and making all kinds of ruckus. And cops would show up and wouldn't do nothing about it, obviously. Hey, they wrote the laws, not me. I'm just following the law. Cuckoo. Some of these comments I'm not going to read out loud, but you guys can look at the chat box. There is kids that watch this channel, but I mean, it's pretty late at night. Kids should be in bed right now. No, this does get uploaded. I try to keep it PG-13-ish, maybe PG-17. Yeah, 5:30 in the morning is a wee bit early. I'm probably wouldn't get irritated if it was like a good sounding small block or a big block or something, but somebody fires up one of them stupid race cars or a Harley or something in the morning, yeah, I don't really like the sound of that. Yeah, Robert, the mosquitoes are kind of thick out here. I run that old bug zapper I got 24/7. That gets a workout. But yeah, the mosquitoes are definitely. Oh, I'm zoomed in. Cool. But yeah, mosquitoes are thick out here. It was quiet that morning, hence the word was. Yeah, ain't quiet after you fire it and right after 420. Oh, that's funny. Hey, Kevin, I appreciate you stopping by and watching. Appreciate the super chat donation. You have a good night, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm going to try to do more of these live stream things. I kind of like being able to reply to the comments and stuff like this while I'm working on stuff and walking around the shop. So I'll probably be doing more of these live videos. Yeah, thanks for watching. You have a good night, buddy. I'll catch you on the next one. Your old lady's pissed you came home with beer tonight. Yeah, mine wasn't. She got the beer for me. Probably her way of telling me I need to chill out. Good night, loves by name or Scott Demario. That's a long channel name. Good night, buddy. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the support on the channel. And yeah, Robert, I like to live stream. It's I'm kind of more myself on here, I think, because I just do stuff. You know, I don't really have to worry about editing the video, and you know, because a lot of times I'll make 5 or 6, 10 videos sometimes and not upload any of them because you know I'll stutter a little bit or I'll say something, call it the wrong name or something. You know, I'm always like critiquing myself. So these live videos are pretty much forcing me to just be who I am and you know be more open about stuff. So yeah, you can't like undo a live video once you say something. It's public, so. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta love them solid cams. I've always kind of wanted a transmission like a 5-speed straight cut gears in it. Just because I like the way straight cut gears sound. Like that one. Ah, my wife ain't got the patience to hold the camera. And yeah, I've been kind of just doing what I do. I ain't really worried. You know, how many? I've been here since I think 2012 or something. I've had this YouTube channel a really long time, and you know, pretty sure there's nothing anybody can say to me that hasn't already been said before. Like I used to get really irritated at people, you know, trolls on my channel and stuff, and anymore I just don't really care. You know, I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna videotape it, and people can either watch it and enjoy it, or they can go to somebody else's channel and watch something else. You know, there's a lot of really good people that really enjoy my videos and like watching and seeing me screw up and seeing me build stuff, and you know, I'm doing it for the people that want to watch and the people that's interested in stuff. Yeah, I did get pissed off for a while at the haters. I was really getting irritated, but you know, I've come to find haters pay the bills. You know, all them haters trolling on my channel and giving me all the thumbs down and leaving comments, that was actually helping the channel. I screwed up by blocking a whole bunch of people. And yeah, I definitely like my garage in the winter time. Like right now, a lot of y'all seen this, a lot of y'all ain't. I got an air conditioner in here, and I got this one room sealed off pretty good to where I can air condition this one room. But the other part of the garage is always hot. And yeah, I much rather have a nice cold shop that I can come out and I can, you know, I got a furnace over there. I can come out and flip that little switch somewhere and turn that furnace on and have it warm out here. Or I can go out in the other garage when I had the wood burn, I could light a fire and get it warm in here. I have the torpedo heaters. It's so nice in the wintertime working out here. And I don't know. I seem to get more done in the winter, and and then there's the humidity thing and all the tools and the floor being wet. You don't have that problem in the winter. The ground's nice and frozen and hard, and it's better to lay on the ground. I've had it so frozen out here to where you can roll a cherry picker around with the engine on it. Once this plywood gets wet and freezes. Yeah, my neighbors used to really not like me because of stuff like that. I'd either be loud music all the time or loud vehicles or mowers or something all the time. I like making noise, I guess, but I've kind of calmed it down a little bit past few years. Yeah, my neighbor Tim over here, he's a good old boy. He likes to drink his beer and listen to his music. He'll be out there at 4 in the morning blaring country music. I love it. There needs to be more people like that in the neighborhood causing a ruckus. Don't make me look like such an asshole. If everybody else is being loud, I can be a little loud and not make everybody mad. Just more people need to do burnouts around town, and then I wouldn't get in trouble every time I wanted to go do a burnout. If everybody does it, you can't stop everybody. They need to have a local drag strip here in town, or a big parking lot that you can do burnouts and donuts in, or something where people can go play. Like, I'm really tired of having to drive 45 minutes just to go to the racetrack to make a few passes. That's why I like that T-bucket so much. I'm happy with my garage. I'm glad about this. It ain't fancy, but yeah, I've done that working outside on the floor in the cold. I've changed engines in the winter. Well, if you look back at the earlier videos, I never had a garage. I had a canopy, a little 20 by 10 canopy over at the other house, and walled it up on the inside so people wouldn't steal everything. I made it work. And over here, like I said, this whole shop here for $6. All the sheet metal I saved up from work, all the lumber I saved up from work, the nails, the screws, even the tools to build it with. All I had to do was buy 2 saw blades. I built this little shop. I don't remember. It's either 16 by 16 or 18 by 18. Then I got that big canopy out there, and I built walls in it, and that canopy stays drier. It stays drier out there than it does in here because I got a used roof, old tin that already had holes in it. I tried to silicone up every one of them holes I could, but yeah, you can't get all of them. And I didn't do the best job building this garage. It took like literally 2 days to build this garage, so at some point I'm going to have to address that. But yeah, I'd much rather lay on a frozen floor than I would a muddy floor. Yeah, I wish I lived in the country. I'd like to. I don't know how many of y'all watch Tom Martin's YouTube channel, but that's where I need to be. You know, I want a giant field that I can just stack full of car parts and stuff and drive around like an idiot in the middle of the night and go through creeks and stuff. And yeah, I need some place like that. I do live in the city. It's not so much. I'm like kind of at the edge of the city. I'm right by the railroad tracks, and that's kind of the city line. So yeah, I'm literally real close to not being in the city, but yet I do have neighbors and stuff around here. I am in kind of a populated area, so it it's not really that great here. It could be better. I could like not have to mow my yard and have car parts everywhere, and I'd be happy. But no, I got to keep everything mowed here. I'll get a fine, and if you got a car without plates on it, they will fine you and give you tickets and tow your cars. And yeah, you got to keep your grass cut. Everything's got to be a certain way. It's stupid. That's why I built a big old fence out there around back that somebody threw away. I didn't spend a penny on that either. They wanted me to paint it here a while back, and I told them, well, I'll paint it, but you're not going to like how it's painted. They want me to paint it because it's just old wood fence. It looks bad. I'm like, well, if you tell me to paint it, I will paint it, but you're gonna not like it. Like, well, why? He's like, because I can get lots of paint from the landfill and from the recycling center, all different kinds of colors, and I will paint it all different kinds of colors. You know, and they quit bothering me after that. 8 acres of land, yeah, I'd love to have 8 acres of land. That would be awesome. Hey Cody or Kodak, you taking off, buddy? Check out the first S10 I did. I will look at it here in a little bit after I get that after I get rid of the live stream here and shut it down. I'll look at that, buddy. Good night from Alabama. Hey, you have a good evening, buddy. I'll see you on the next one. Good night, buddy. No, Robert, this turned out to be a 350 4-bolt main. I was thinking it might be a 327 because of the numbers on the front of the block. When I looked them up on my stupid smartphone, it was telling me it was a 327 on like 2 different websites. Well, the websites are wrong. They don't make a 4-bolt main 327, but I measured the bore and stroke. It's a 4-bolt main 350. I'm really hoping that little engine on the ground over there is something special, like a 327 or a 302. I'd really like to have a 302. That's what I'm wanting to build out of this, but I can't afford it. But yeah, I'm hoping that's something cool, but I have a feeling it's just another 4-bolt main 350. But yeah, if you go back and look where I tore this, I don't know if I showed a picture of the main bearing journals and there, anything on that crank or not when I was doing that, but yeah, I've almost kind of wondered if it's a fresh rebuild with a bad cam break-in, but the problem with that is the amount of dirt and grit that was on the outside of that engine. Like, it was so clean on the outside, but so dirty on the, or so clean on the inside, but so dirty on the outside. It just looks like that engine has been in a vehicle forever and never been taken apart. And I should have paid more attention when I was taking it apart at certain things. You can kind of tell. But I'm pretty sure that's never been rebuilt or anything. I measured all the main journals and rod journals. They're all standard size. I think I'm going to have to double check my measurements and look it up. Oh, I just lost that little thumb wheel again. And it went in the end of my stupid engine hoist right there. That's cool. The thumb wheel to my caliper is now inside of that pipe right there. But yeah, measure here. Exactly 4 inches. That's really hard to do without that thumb wheel. Tell you what. See, I can't lock it down to pull it out. But yeah, try to do that again. I'll try to lock it down here. That's exactly 4 inches though on every one, so that's not ever been bored out. And like I said on the video when I was showing the inside of it, it's still got cross hatching marks in it, so it may have been rebuilt and just rebuilt badly and leaked a whole bunch. I don't know, but everything looks excellent on the inside. I'm probably just going to put new bearings in it and rings and put it back together. Where did I just put the case to this at? Lose my brain if it wasn't attached. What's on the toolbox to the right? Which one? Bunch of stuff up there. I don't know which one you're talking about. And yeah, Robert, this is the engine out of the last live stream video that I started taking apart, and I took it down to, well, where you seen it at the beginning of this video. The only thing I did after that live stream was over is I cleaned it a little bit, just on the outside, got all the crap off of it, and yeah, I don't think I took anything else off though. I think I did all that all the way to the right. We talking about that little fuel cell down there? What's the lifter bore? Probably just standard small block Chevy lifter bore. Oh, on top of the, read that again. On top of the red box, you talking about that up here, the parts washer? I'll point and you say when to stop. No, you talking about all that up there? Got so much crap in here, it's hard to $830 thousandths is what that lifter board comes to. Do another one here. $835 thousandths. 840. Did I measure that wrong? I'll measure that again. Yeah, I got one that's 835,000, one that's 840. I'll probably have to definitely check that. Let me look at the comments. Yeah, it looks like that's my high pressure parts washer. I'll show you. I think I showed that earlier. I got a solvent tank, diesel fuel, whatever, line that runs to a fuel pump. Right there, just one of them clunker style pumps, and that line runs into back in there through a fitting that's got a 35 thousandths welding tip in it. So it pumps fuel through here, then I got my air side here, I can regulate it, and it sticks fuel and air through this hose. I got a badly cut piece of hose that makes a real good nozzle. It's a high pressure washer. I spray off blocks with it, spray off parts with it. Like when I go to clean out that crank, that's what I'll use to clean out all the oil galleries and everything, and the whole engine pretty much. I use that, but it does make a fog and it will blow you up probably, so use a lot of ventilation if you ever do that, because I have been known to put solvent in that. Yeah, when I start cleaning this block, I'll show you guys how I use that thing and how it works, because they're very handy to have. It's almost as good as a hot tank. You can clean them out pretty damn good. Oh, shoot. It's probably getting pretty late. I'm going to have to wrap this up for too long, I think. I'm getting tired. Wife cooked tacos last night. We ate leftover tacos tonight, and I ate too much. I'm wore out. Poor lifters on the floor. Yeah. Yeah, they're no good, so they're trash. There's actually probably another pile of them. There is too. Wow. Yeah, there's a whole nother pile of them down here on the floor underneath that torque converter. Bunch of old lifters in this garage, because very rare do I ever use a lifter. Now if I pull a cam out of something, like when I swap camshafts, I'll pull the cam out and pull the lifters out, and I'll put all the lifters in order in a box. And you can use that cam and lifters in another engine as long as you put the lifter that was on that lobe back on that lobe. And you can run a cam and lifters in, you know, 2 different engines. As long as you keep them where they're supposed to be, it'll be just fine. I've did it a couple times. And yes, I got a radiator for the T-bucket. It was a freebie. They sent me a new radiator and fan. What ended up happening, the weight came off of that fan and shoved itself through the radiator. So that was awesome. I took the weight off of the new fan, so there is no counterweight to come loose and blow up in my face. That was not funny. I almost jumped out of that T-bucket going down the highway. How's my pet in the garage? I ain't seen him around here no more. I don't know where that little guy went. I think I must have ran him off. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, I don't know. He just started showing up here one day, and I ran him off enough times. I think he finally figured it out. Talking about that possum, I assume. Homemade eggs and biscuits. Ugh, I hate eggs. I can't stand eggs. That's one thing I won't eat is eggs. But yeah, I like me some biscuits and gravy. Do I have any torque converters I would sell? Well, not really any good ones. I got the, well, actually maybe, because I got a Turbo 350 torque converter that's in that transmission that should be good. I got a 4L60E torque converter that's factory, and I got another factory one out there. I got a LS style and a small block Chevy style torque converter for that 4L60E. But yeah, I don't really know. You know, it probably costs like a whole bunch to ship a torque converter. I'm sure of it. They're heavy. But yeah, I don't know. I got a few torque converters laying around, but I don't know, you know, how good any of them are. Like this one over here, that one that's down there in the pile, that came on the back of this engine. And I'm pretty sure it looks like a Turbo 350 converter or Turbo 400. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it probably would be, judging by what it came out of. You need a high stall cheap for a Turbo 350. Yeah, I don't have any. Although I only got stock ones. I got an unknown stall converter in the S10 that I don't know what it is, but it's perfect for that truck. My buddy Joshua Bailey gave me a transmission and a torque converter. Boy, I tell you, that made all the difference in the world. That Turbo 350 shifts like a dream. You know, well, shaved a whole second off of my 8th mile time, and shaving a second off, that's a lot. And it still wasn't, you know, I still could have probably pushed it harder. I could have left the line harder, could have stalled it a little higher and had a little more RPM when I left. I'm willing to bet I could dial that thing in and run a high 6, like a 699 pass. I'd really like to break into the 6s. I was trying to break into the 7s for like forever, and finally broke into the 7s. Now I want 6s out of it. My wife ain't real happy about that, but yeah, I want to break into the 6s. I'm thinking good set of drag radials, and yeah, good set of drag radials, kind of fine tune everything, get it to go down the track right, maybe shed a little more weight. First gear in a 4L60E is very low, but it's good if you're running a tall rear gear. And yeah, definitely going from a 4L60E to a Turbo 350, I can tell the difference in the ratio of the first gear. Like, there's a big difference. What do I have planned for projects this winter? Well, I don't know yet. I know the T-bucket, I want to take everything off the T-bucket down to the bare frame and sand it down, primer it, and paint it. The frame, you know, the body I ain't going to paint, and the bed I ain't going to paint, but all the frame and everything I had to re-weld, I want to sand all that down and paint it. I was going to go ahead and put one of these 4L60Es in it and swap it out and redo the cross member. For those of you that don't know or that might be still watching, the cross member is welded in solid, and I didn't do that. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out something to do with the cross member, cut it out, and do it, make a new one that bolts in, so I can move it. And yeah, I'm really considering like possibly putting this engine in the T-bucket. I like the engine that's in it, but don't know yet. Don't know what I'm going to do with this engine yet, really. I'm thinking about building this for the T-bucket, putting the T-bucket engine in the work truck. Yeah, flatheads are expensive though. I couldn't afford to even. Yeah, I couldn't afford that. I don't know that the second gear in the 4L60E is quite a big jump from first to second, but in that S10, man, first gear would spin because it was too low, and it's just pointless. You couldn't go anywhere. Man, when you banged into second, that second gear was perfect. If I had second and third gear only, that truck would have been a rocket with a 4L60E. Like you couldn't use first, but yeah, second and third gear only, that thing would have been good. Make it like a power glide. But that Turbo 350, definitely a taller first gear, and you can use it. I mean, it hooks and goes, and you can just floor it. It's awesome. Can't wait to get back to the track. There's one more chance I got to go to the racetrack this year before winter time. And I really want to go, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to because I got to work. Oh, and yeah, trying to think. On my 4L60Es, see that one, that 4L60E on the one in the middle there, it's got Corvette servos in it. It's supposed to be a built transmission, but I didn't have any problem with them holding the gear I wanted them to. I could run out first gear all the way to the rev limiter, second gear all the way to the rev limiter, a whole bunch of times because it wouldn't go into a third. I had a lot of problems with 4L60Es. Well, no, that it's not that it wouldn't let me use just second and third. I could have because I had the MSD Atomic TCM set up on it. And then after that, I had the manual switches. I could have took off and said, "Oh, as a matter of fact, if you look at the pass where I was racing that chop top S10, like a real bona fide race car, the pass that I ran down the track and that truck smacked the wall at the end of the track, and I stopped and jumped out. That pass that I made following that truck, I left in third gear and left it in third gear the whole track, like start to finish, third gear all the way around the track. It wasn't that I couldn't command it to do, command it to go in a gear and it would go in that gear. It would do that, but it wouldn't shift from second to third gear. It would hang up in second or go into neutral. It never would shift into third gear at wide open. So I don't know what it is. It's probably just a 4L60E thing. Yeah, they don't make cars like the old ones. 65 GTO, that would be fun. 389 with a 4-speed. Yeah, 4-speed transmissions are just a blast. I like banging gears. But what I've come to find throughout my many years of breaking stuff is manual transmission is not as fast as an automatic. Don't care how fast you can bang through them gears, there's still a power loss when the clutch is in when you're in between gears. You can go faster with an automatic. But yeah, something about the. Yeah, exactly. That's why I never want to mess with the LS engine because I'll have to buy, Poly EFI or some kind of either that or use a factory computer and then have to tune around crap that I've done that I don't like. Yeah, no, I'll stick with my small box Chevys, man. They're cheap to build, cheap to work on, easy to maintain, they last forever. I'm just not, I mean, yeah, you can make tons of horsepower out of them LS engines, but I'm just not into that, you know. Oh, shoot. Well, we're down to 7 people watching. And yeah, I mean, I can bang gears in my Dodge truck probably every bit of just as fast as the automatic will shift into the next gear. But the thing is, you still got that power loss in between gears. You know, because I can shift that. I've had a few different vehicles. I can just bang shift the heck out of it, and yeah, you can shift super fast, but you still got that little bit of power loss in between gears. Now, like an automatic, it's pulling all the way up until a point where it's in the next gear. It just keeps pulling. That's what I like about an automatic. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up, you guys. I am getting tired. And I gotta work in the morning, so. Yeah, I'd really like to take my grandpa's got a '56 Ford Victoria. I'd like to take it down the drag strip. He races it all time, but yeah, every little bit of time counts when you're on the racetrack. Like if you're not propelling yourself down the track in the middle of a shift, you know that's a losing time. Automatic, you don't have that, and never have to let your foot off the gas. Well, I guess you don't have to let your foot off the gas in the manual either, but it's hard on stuff. But yeah, I'd like to drive my grandpa's '56 Ford Victoria down the racetrack just once. Probably never happen. It's got Hillborn fuel injection on it. It is awesome. Well, put a blow through carb on it. Go and eat some food and wake up the old lady. That's funny. Well, you guys, appreciate you watching. I'm going to read more comments real quick. A gear vendor with a TH400 would be nice. I'd like to have a gear vendor over under just because. That'd be nice. You'd be pissed when the microwave beeps. If you're like me, if you got animals, the microwave beeps, all the animals get out of bed. They know exactly what that beep means. That means, hey, there's food somewhere. Somebody's cooking. Oh, shoot. Well, you guys, I'm going to shut the shop down, go in and get cleaned up, call tonight. I got to work early in the morning. But I appreciate all you watching. Appreciate the people donated on the super chat. CF Mechanic and Kevin Shire. I'd have to look on this comment and see. You guys got so many YouTube names out there, it's hard to remember all of them. But the 2 people that donated, thank you very much. That definitely helps out the channel. That's probably more revenue I've made on this channel tonight in this little live stream than I've made in a couple months. So that helps. I appreciate that. I'm probably going to be doing a lot more of these live stream videos just because they're, convenient and stuff. So I can just set the camera up and work on stuff. I ain't got to worry about making 30 different videos and edit them together or sound like an idiot. I can just look like an idiot live. Well, thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support and everything, and all the comments and the thumbs up and all that good stuff. Helps the channel grow. I will probably try to do a live stream tomorrow night. I plan on tomorrow. I'm probably going to start cleaning up this block, cleaning up the crank, getting everything ready to start assembling. I got to go. First, I got to figure out my financial situation and see when I can order up some bearings and some rings and some gaskets. I got to come up with probably around $400 to putting that old engine back together. But yeah, as soon as I get the parts for this thing, I'll be throwing it together, and I'll do that live too, just so everybody can watch, and that way I can comment and talk to people while we're building an engine. And that way, if somebody sees me screw up, you can say, "Hey, you forgot to tighten that bolt, dumbass." Stuff like that. It is handy doing things live sometimes. Well, good seeing you. You all have a good night. And I'll see you in the next one. Take her easy. Matt's Madness, over and out. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm going to have to wipe this grease off my hands before the phone will listen to me. This is stupid. I hate smartphones. Okay.